Welcome into the show. This is Jono.
And this is Micah, and you're listening to Medium Retro.
Micah, Thomas, we're back, man.
Jono Sheets, we are here in the basement once again.
Yes, it's been a little while since we sat down and chatted about games. It's good to be back.
Too long. A week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, I think we're both very excited to drink an adult beverage. This is actually going to be my first adult beverage on the show for quite a while. Did a little detox.
Yeah, so I figured we'd do it a little special for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we open this extra special beverage, Mike, I am very excited about it. I do want to, thank everybody for listening into Medium Retro. Just a friendly reminder that we have a Patreon out there on mediumretro.com. You can also just go to patreon.com and leave us reviews on your favorite podcast app. Those are very helpful.
Indeed. Also, guys, be sure to follow us on Twitch and Twitter at Medium Retro and Instagram at Medium Retro Podcast. Drop us a line. Say something to us. We'll put it on the show. It'll be fun.
Oh, hell yes. Now, adult beverage. Tell us about it, Micah.
So, one of my favorite drinks of all time, perhaps this is because of my ancestry, one might say. I have a lot of Viking ancestry. I love mead. I really do love mead. My friend in Nashville has a meadery. I still need to get him to ship me some shit. I'm gonna hit him up soon. But in the meantime, today I brought Redstone Meadery's traditional mountain honey wine for us to try.
I haven't had mead in a really long time.
It's been a little bit too long for me, actually. I had a bottle probably like 4 months ago, but yeah, too long. Way too long.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Give us a little details on it. Mead's all from honey, right?
Yeah, so essentially mead is made similar to beer. You're fermenting, but instead of using the wort, the grain water, essentially you're using honey water. So it's a little bit different. It's usually a little bit sweeter, although not always. Sometimes you have the full the yeast sort of eats up all the sweetness sometimes, so you can have a dry mead. But yeah, most people refer to it as honey wine, and it's because the alcohol content usually sits up on the same amount as wine. It drinks more like wine. It's good stuff,
Yeah, I think it's 12%, so
yes.
Feeling a little loosey-goosey. You just worked a long day today.
Oh, yes.
And I've been working on my shower and doing some drywall.
We both deserve this.
Yeah, we're both very
on a lot of levels.
Ready to chat about games and drink some adult bevies.
Indeedy do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pop this bad boy.
Yeah, I wonder what it'll sound like.
Oh, let's try that. Let's try that again for the listener. Oh, it was just a little like.
Yeah, not the most exciting, but hey, it's all right.
Yeah, I think this is probably mostly.
Do you want me to pour them?
Yeah.
No, you got it.
I can pour on here.
Okay. You're in a better. I was in a better spot to pour, but
I have the bottle in my hand.
Yes, in the bottle. Well, thank you, sir.
I want to pour you the whole glass full, but we'll start with this.
I once met this Irishman who I'm still friends with. I met him while traveling. Ooh, thank you. And he was telling me about how the first server job he ever had, no one explained that on the wine glasses, you don't fill them to the top. And he was just telling me how the very first order he got was a glass of wine, and he filled it to the very top, like almost overflowing. And I was like,
nice.
That's the type of server that I want.
Yeah, seriously, if I got a full glass of wine, you better believe that person will be getting a full tip.
I mean, that's 2 in 1 right there.
Hell yeah. But that's funny. I think I did the same thing when I first started working behind a bar. I was a bar back. I had no clue what was going on. Someone was like, oh, pour this wine. And I poured it almost all the way to the top. Maybe like one little baby finger from all the way from the top. They're like, that's like 2 glasses of wine.
That's how Micah rolls.
That is how I roll. Cheers, sir.
Cheers. All right. Oh, yeah.
That is good. Good mead. It is definitely sweet, but it's not too sweet.
I'm digging it.
Me too.
I didn't know what to expect, and I really like it. It's very strong on the honey flavor.
Yeah. I think my friend Ross, who has his own meadery in Nashville, Honey Tree Meadery, if anyone is listening in Nashville and you don't already know Ross and go here frequently, you should give it a shot. But yeah, they're fucking delicious. They make just great meads. They have a more traditional. It's sort of like this. It's a little bit less sweet, I think, than this one.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, they do a really good like candy ginger.
Ooh,
It's so good.
ginger is very underrated.
It
in
is.
all things.
But yeah, if you want to accidentally drink 4 pints of mead, that's the one to go for.
I mean, wouldn't 4 pints of mead be like drinking 15 beers?
Probably.
Like a pint of mead, like the amount of liquid in our cup right now is like not even a quarter of a pint.
I just remember,
You know what I mean?
There was one time when I bought a 4-pack, and he was pouring me all these samples, and I probably had at least a pint's worth of samples.
No, I like the 4 pints, like
Yeah.
you said, or the 3 pints or whatever.
Yeah,
All right.
dude. Yeah, it's just mead's easy in good and bad ways.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself drinking this very quickly. Absolutely, very
Indeed.
tasty. So people are listening in for us to chat about Doom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited to chat about this game. This is some of my earlier gaming memories were all at my friend Kyle's house back in the day. I've talked about him on the show before. He lived across the street. His dad was an engineer. He was super into all the old gaming consoles and everything. So I think they had an old Atari and whatever. I played a lot of games over there. And we played so much Doom. I actually beat it this time. I never beat it as a kid because it's a hard game.
It's pretty tough.
But I mean, as a 6-year-old kid, I was playing this like ultra violent game. So I'm excited to talk to you about that game today. But first, Micah, we do have a little bit of an opening segment.
True.
You ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Today's segment is Just Friends. It's basically a game or a game series that you have played a lot, really enjoyed, but none of the games in that series, or if it's just a singular game, were ever really considered as one of your all-time favorites. Never in your top 20 or 30.
Yes.
You will always be just friends, never a lover.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
I'll let you decide because I always go first.
Okay, I'm going to go first then.
Cool.
Because I told you before the show that mine might be a bit controversial, because I know a lot of people love this game.
Hell yeah.
And I think it's a bit overrated. Yep, I said it. The Mass Effect series.
Ooh, shots fired.
What do you think about that?
I can't blame you. I don't think I might have 2 might be in my top 30, maybe top 40, but I don't blame you for this one at all.
Because some people think it's one of the greatest games and game series of all time. And I'm not there, man.
That's understandable. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed playing them. But I mean, okay. Let's break it down here. Mass Effect 1 for when it came out. Great.
Mm-hmm.
But it had very boring levels. Any of the levels where you had to be in the land-based ship
Mm-hmm.
sucked.
Yeah, terrible inventory, but good characters, good story.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, good and bad with that one.
Number 2 had its faults, but overall, I really liked that one. 3, it was really hit and miss. You know, you had like these Jersey Shore characters in space blowing things up, which is fine. You know, kind of had to just learn to love the meatheads, but it just felt really weird. The whole thing was really strange. Mass Effect, I think I can understand and agree with the fact that I do think it's a little bit overrated. But that being said, they've recently announced that they're going to release a new Mass Effect game.
Did they?
Yeah, this is like as of like in the last couple of weeks.
I did hear they were gonna have a re-release, like a remaster of the original 3.
Yeah.
Which I am actually curious to play them. I don't know where I'll have time to play them, but I would like to go through those games again.
Yeah.
'Cause I do have fond memories, but they're not in my top 30. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. That like I said, I can understand and agree with that one for sure.
Now, somebody out there is yelling at the microphone right now, or the
just
speaker.
got deleted.
Delete. Well, you know what? You're banned anyway.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to ban them.
Well, they already banned. It's too late. Yeah, if they're listening.
Well, if they deleted us, they
banned us.
they banned themselves from us.
Yeah, true. Well, you know, mine is a game. I figured on the you know same kind of line as Doom, a game that was really popular back in the day, PC shooter, Unreal Tournament. Specifically, I played 2003 Unreal Tournament 2003. I think was the one that I played the most. Really fun, you know, weirdly floaty. It plays a lot like I always thought that whenever I started playing Halo, that I played a lot like Unreal Tournaments. And I always enjoyed those games. I think the Unreal Engine has gone on to be its own thing now, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of games are based on the Unreal Tournament or the Unreal Engine. But that being said, yeah, I just never really fun, had a good time with it, never really cared to put it in my top 100 even.
Just friends.
So, yeah, just friends.
You know, that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had good times. We're still friends with these
Yeah.
games. You know?
I'd still have a fling with the Unreal Tournament,
Yeah.
but just a fling.
Exactly. I might have a one night stand with Mass Effect when it re-releases, you know?
Get some hot, steamy alien action.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
you literally can do in that game.
Yeah, I think we've made so many jokes about that on the show,
I
but
know.
it is so funny. It is
Mhm.
so funny and unfortunate. And I mean, shit. If we ever find aliens, we're gonna be fucking them.
It's
That's
true.
gonna happen.
You've made this point before that if we do encounter aliens, we will fuck the aliens.
Unless they
Not
don't.
you and me. I'm saying humankind will fuck aliens.
Yeah, I would like to have a nice conversation. Thank you very much. But if they reproduce sexually and they have that sort of thing in their society, then there's a good chance that a little interspecies action could happen.
I mean, somewhere there is a podcast being recorded from aliens saying the same thing. If we ever meet any aliens, we'd fuck them.
Yeah. But more power to anyone who wants to. I guess I don't know. Not my scene.
This is like furries turned to 11, you know?
Yeah. Once again, don't get it at all. More power to you if you like that
if
shit.
you're into it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
You know, we want people to live their lives however they want to live to make them happy, you know?
Yeah, seriously. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind in life. If someone's not hurting somebody else, even if you don't like what they're doing, just don't give a shit.
I know. I'll never understand it. I'll never
Yeah.
understand when people care about what makes other people happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, precisely.
Anyway, we don't have to fucking talk about that, but fuck those people.
Yeah, bah humbug.
Yeah. Bah humbug. I love that saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it's getting closer to the holiday season. That's all I can think about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Muppet Christmas Carol, specifically.
That is one of my favorite Christmas movies, I gotta say.
Oh, man. We're going to do a Patreon on that one for sure.
Let's do it, man.
Fuck yeah.
It is, 'tis the season, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Well, fuck yeah. So, yeah, anyway, Doom.
Doom, man. I think, we kind of rotate. We don't really rotate back and forth, but we each kind of bring games to the table. And this was one that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Because I have very fond memories of it. If we get to the meat and potatoes here.
Mm-hmm.
I already said that I played it at my friend Kyle's house. And playing through it on this playthrough really brought back instantly a lot of... Because I haven't played the game in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't played the whole game in 20 years. Actually, I take that back, Micah. I played the first... there's 4 chapters, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I played the first chapter in college. But
Gotcha.
that's the last time I've played. I haven't played further than that. So many memories are tied to this game of being in my friend's basement, us getting the shit scared out of us. I mean, I still got scared playing this game. There's a lot of jump scares.
There are a lot of jump scares in this game.
I think this game coined the term, like, monster closet.
Which is legitimately a huge thing in this game. Monsters are packing in a closet, just absolutely closet packed full of monsters. Doors open up, they come flooding out.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear them before they open up a lot of the times.
I know, it's really eerie.
It is eerie because you're like, where are these monsters? I know they're around here.
I know they're going to pop out and hit me in the back the moment I turn around,
Mm-hmm.
which does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It definitely does happen. And I don't know, I always love this game. Oh, and I wanted to bring up another reason why I really wanted to do this game is that I did read the book Masters of Doom.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
It is an amazing book. Like, really, really good.
Yeah.
I've talked about on the show before how I like reading about people who go so fully into things that that's like all they can think about. It's all they do. And they just get obsessed with achieving something great. And the guys at id Software really did nothing but program games for years and years and years and develop the IDE software or the engine and everything to run these games, and id Tech, I believe it's called. And so yeah, that book too has always just stuck with me very deeply. So I wanted to do Doom. I wanted to make sure we talked about this amazing game.
Now, I'm glad we did because, in all honesty, you have a lot of history with this game. I wasn't allowed to play it as a kid. This was on the main list of no-no titles, because it's demonic, it's dirty, it's just everything that a 90s Christian family wasn't going to stand behind, you know what I mean? This was up there with Mortal Kombat in the titles that I was never supposed to play as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, you literally go to hell in this game.
Yeah, you do. You go to hell. But anyway, I was glad to finally play it. It's been on my mind and on my list for quite some time now. So actually having a chance to go and wrap this game up, play through it, experience it for myself, it's been quite nice.
Yeah, and you sent me a text the other day where you basically said Doom is wacky as hell.
It is wacky as hell.
It's wackier than I remembered.
Yeah, I think a lot of these titles, the 90s humor at the time was just so taken for granted. It's got a lot of that sort of like wacky 90s humor for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a wall at one point that has a butthole on it.
It's an eyeball. Sir.
It's an eyeball,
but it looks like
but
a
it
butthole.
looks exactly like a butthole until you click on the eye and it's like a switch. Come on, are you telling me you didn't think that was a butthole?
It kind of looked more vaginal to me, but also it was so bizarre. Everything like at that point you haven't really experienced that sort of like fleshy wall texture, and suddenly it's just like there, and it could be a butthole or maybe some other orifice. I don't know.
It's a fleshy orifice of some sort. That's all we know for sure.
definitely a fleshy orifice. That's the way to describe it.
Yeah. Well, the first time you see it, you start on the level, and that's the first thing you see. Like that is the screen when the level starts off.
Yeah, a little unsettling.
We'll get to that.
Hell yeah.
Because there's a lot of crazy, weird. The level design is just really weird in this game.
Yeah, it is. But also, like, this is super early on in the 3D titles. Doom was released after a couple of different shooters already. I think Castle Wolfenstein or whatever was first, right?
Yep. Wolfenstein came out in May 92.
And then, so there's that. And then this is shortly after. This is already to the point, though, really quickly you can tell this is a little bit more advanced than those games because you have multi-level levels, essentially, which was actually relatively new in the days of things like Dark Forces and Jedi Knight, which were titles that I played during that time period. So, yeah, it's just interesting and strange to relive that moment in history.
Yeah, some of the design concepts in the game did not seem so strange in my memory, and I think it's just things have evolved so much. Obviously, things have evolved so much that playing through it really was kind of funny.
Definitely, and there are definitely times too when you're playing through something and the color schemes just don't make any sense.
Dude, that's one of my notes. Like the color schemes, like the blue floors.
Yeah.
Why are the floors blue?
I guess if you look at titles at the time, things non-3D titles, for instance, there were some really weird, wacky designs, but nothing quite as, I think, off the wall as what Doom was doing. So,
yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, so to get into some of the game facts here, developed by id Software and published by id Software, we're going to have some powerhouse names coming up in the designer, programmers, etc., because there are some rock stars of gaming who worked at id Software. So John Romero, he dated like Playboy models and was on like magazine covers and stuff. He was like
he was the Playboy of the group.
Yes, exactly. I mean, he was like a big deal, and he liked being the center of attention and having the spotlight on him. He's people still know him. If you're a gamer at all, you've heard the name John Romero.
Yeah.
Also, designers were Tom Hall and Sandy Peterson. Tom Hall, they actually did not like a lot of his designs and threw a lot of the concepts up, and he eventually was fired, I think with 10 weeks left to go.
Yeah.
And that's when Sandy Peterson was brought on board. So those are the three designers. John Carmack, he is the other major name in id Software's history. And he is still very relevant today. I believe we've talked about it before on how he works over at Facebook on the Oculus, or at least he did. I think that was in a fairly recent episode that we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yep. But John Carmack was the main programmer. He also programmed alongside John Romero, who kind of did designing and programming, and then Dave Taylor. Artists were Adrian Carmack, who is John Carmack's brother, and then Kevin Cloud. Composer was Robert Prince. Platform, the Microsoft DOS. Now we're talking. And it released December 10th, 1993.
It's still amazing to me to play through this game and realize that it came out in 93. A big part of me remembers this being like 95. But this is like around the same time as like the SNES is in its full swing.
Oh, yeah.
And these 3D games are coming out on the PC. That's pretty crazy to me. But I want to point out too, whenever you exit the game, it's like, are you sure you want to quit? MS-DOS is so less cool or something like that, It makes a reference to MS-DOS. And I'm like, whoa.
I actually didn't notice that.
Just throws you right back,
Man, DOS.
Yeah. But I guess you played it on the PlayStation, right? I played it on the PC.
Yeah, so I played it on. It was actually on sale recently on PlayStation Network, and so I bought
Mhm.
it. It was like $2.50. It's a
Hell
great
yeah.
deal.
Yeah, totally. I bought my copy I think for 5, which is still super cheap.
Ripped off. No.
I know. But seriously, if you the listener have not played this game and you have an interest in learning the history of, early shooters, it's definitely worth play.
Absolutely.
And for that
I had
price.
a blast playing it. I mean, because it is very. There was times where I was a little annoyed, but it's a very wacky game, like you said, and very fun. I still think there's a lot of fun to be had. It's I think old enough where it's still unique and nostalgic and retro. It's not caught in that middle ground, that a lot of games are caught in right now between
Yeah.
where real 3D first person shooter gaming is good, like some of the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 shooters are pretty rough.
Yeah.
N64 like GoldenEye is really rough to play. For whatever reason, Doom to me plays better than when I pick up an N64 controller and try to play GoldenEye.
Yeah.
That game just feels so weird now.
No, I'm curious to know. Whenever you're playing on the computer, you can't really aim up and down. It's sort of just like left and right. Is that how it plays on the PlayStation as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no Y-axis essentially. It's just like
Which is
left and right.
strange at first. It took me a minute to get used to, but I think it sort of made it more fun long term anyway. It would have been nice to be able to like look down into a pit and shoot the monsters that I know are down there, but that's all part of it.
For sure. I mean, dual stick shooters took a long time to get to that point.
Very true.
When in 1993, we're a decade plus until that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though PC gaming did change when they had the full accesses available to them.
Yeah, totally. I think
soon after.
most of the shooters that I played on the PC back in the day, granted, were all based off of Doom, but most of them, from what I remember, all had the Y-axis as well.
Yeah.
Except for Checkspan, if I remember correctly, that's just a Doom clone. It just literally took Doom, put checks on top of it.
I forgot about that game.
Oh, I the whole time I'm thinking about it when I'm playing Doom.
Yeah, I still want to play that game. That was in our Obscurasodes episode, I believe.
Yes.
Episode, I have no idea what number that was. I can't keep track anymore.
I'm
15, maybe?
I'm gonna say I'm just gonna guess 11, and we're gonna look, and it's gonna be 11.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, but yeah, I think it was definitely one of those things where like I've played a lot of games like this, but having actually finally had a chance to play the original Doom, this is such a nostalgic game. And in playing through it, you realize so much is based off of Doom. So it was interesting. It was drip. And it was wacky as fuck.
Wacky as fuck, man. And we'll get into that big time when we kind of do the walkthrough. But why don't you give us some of these fun facts here?
Hell yeah. So the first 9 levels, Knee Deep in the Dead, were released as freeware. Approximately 15 to 20 million people played this, and the full game is later sold via mail order.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they took a freeware approach to this game.
Yeah, and I mean,
sorry if you hear me pouring this mead right now.
No, it's the greatest sound I've heard all day. I don't know about you, the listener, but just get jealous because this is about to be tasty. So Ultimate Doom wasn't released until 1995 at retail, which included a 4th pack of levels called Thy Flesh Consumed.
The first 3 were just mail order purchases for like the first couple years.
Interesting. Which I find it to be a fun fact that it actually eventually did get a physical release. I think there comes a tipping point when it stops making sense to just be DIY, and it starts making sense to rake in the cash you can make having a physical copy on a shelf somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So hell yeah. John Carmack named the game after a line in the movie The Color of Money.
Sorry, my typing is bad on there, Mike. After a line in the movie. Okay.
I figured that's what you're trying to say. The line is, "What you got in here? In here, Doom." Which I've never seen that movie, and I don't know what part of the movie.
I don't either. I kind of want to watch the movie and just wait, like in anticipation for that one line, and then when it happens, just be like, "All right, I'm good now." Color
hell
money.
Yeah. But also, hell yeah, Doom. Its first-person shooter was actually released in May of 1992, being of course Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh yeah.
And they developed Doom on Next computers, which were famously created by Steve Jobs after he was fired from Apple.
Have you ever heard of Next Computers?
vaguely. And as I was reading that, I'm like, where have I heard of that?
Yeah. It's like a weird time because, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple and he started Next. And they were supposedly really good computers,
Yeah.
but they were pretty expensive and they never caught like a mass following. But the people who used them said they were amazing.
Interesting.
Apple later then bought Next for $400 something million.
Wow. $400 million in that day.
Yeah,
In
I think
this
that's
economy?
what brought Apple. I think that's what brought Steve Jobs back into the Apple,
That's
universe.
a payday right there.
Oh yeah,
Well, hell yeah.
he didn't need a payday at that point. I mean, he was already pretty wealthy, but
Yeah.
he ended up getting way, way more wealthy after that.
The wealthy get wealthier. That's
Mm.
how it goes. So yeah, you wanna launch right into the plot here?
Real quick, fun fact that I heard recently. Did you know that Jeff Bezos' wife, when they got divorced, she instantly became the 22nd richest person in the world?
I heard that, and that's insane,
What?
dude. Man, I mean, for that money, I'd marry and divorce a rich person too.
Apparently he cheated on her.
Whoa. But also, when you have that kind of money, it's got to go to your head.
Dude, when you have $1 billion versus $30 billion, it does not matter.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
$1 billion is so much money.
it's almost unfathomable. Have you seen those videos online where they break it down in rice?
The rice, yes.
Yeah. Oh, man, that just hurts you. It's so much more intense than you think it is when you see it laid out like that. But, well, shit. Maybe one day we'll get $1 billion.
I don't even want it. Dude, I don't want $1 billion. If you have $1 billion, you have to figure out how to manage that.
That is a lot of money. I just like to think of just living this life where I never look at my bank account and just sort of living a normal life, Oh, I buy a house, I got a car, around some me guys,
I mean, if you want to literally give no fucks and have true fuck you money, yeah, you probably need $1 billion if you're just
Yeah.
can
At some
buy
point,
a
$1
jet
million
today.
isn't enough. But if you want to start buying little yachts for your big yacht, it's got to be $1 billion.
It's got to be, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to be able to drive your yacht into another larger yacht, you're right, Micah. I've never thought about it in those terms. You just changed me.
Yeah, I know, man. There's just a different level of living that we're not experiencing right now.
But is it better? Is it better living? You know what? Those people would not do some of the things that I did on my trips in South America and Vietnam, and they're some of my favorite things.
Yeah.
They would never do those things.
I mean, shoot, man. Sometimes I hate my life because I'm just a poor boy, but sometimes I like being just you don't have to worry about that much shit when you don't have a ton of shit to worry about, Also, maintaining a fortune sounds like a lot of work too,
Everybody's going to be calling you every day for shit too.
Yeah, that's very true.
You need this is $10 million, which is still way more than anybody needs.
Yeah.
$10 million though, you can live under the radar, but you'll never have a worry in your life. Honestly,
that's true.
$1 million if you do it right.
See, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I think I would need a minimum of 10 million to live my life. But
I need a minimum of $10 million to live my life.
This is why
Okay.
I would have to immediately give $1 million to all of my siblings.
Okay.
So there's a big chunk of my change gone. Then also I have to buy a nice lake house for all of us on top of that,
All right.
and also I need to get a canoe to go into my yacht.
Yeah.
Not the yacht in the yacht, but a canoe for my yacht, and
Yes.
then I'm good. That's
mean-
$10 million right there.
Okay.
Not
All right.
really, but
So I mean, a good chunk of that, half of it right off the bat, you don't even have.
yeah, exactly. Because I want to give my siblings some play money.
Yeah.
And also the government's going to take half of it too. So
Well, it depends. If you accumulated $10 million by earning it over time,
yeah.
then you would assume they already took all the money to get to $10
In this
million.
scenario, I'm thinking mostly lottery winnings.
Oh, okay.
But maybe earning it would be better.
Hmm.
I could earn $10 million. I bet you if a person put their mind to it, said fuck everything else, I'm just going to spend the next 10 years earning $10 million. You could do it.
Yeah, but that's what people do who earn $10 million.
Exactly. I don't know if I would want to put myself into that much.
I mean, if you ever read into CEOs and stuff, that's all they care. Not money. I'm saying all they care about is working,
yeah,
and that's why people make a shitload of money.
that's
that's
very
all
true.
they can think about. You know what I mean? That's why their family lives suffer. And shit.
And that's why they cheat on their wives and make her the 27th richest person after she divorces
I
them.
mean,
or
that's an
whatever.
insane fact.
It is insane, but also that's a pretty good, she got out good in that divorce. It sucks that she got cheated on, but At least you got some money out of it.
I mean, yeah, but that's a little ridiculous, don't you think?
Yeah.
You married somebody and you're now the 22nd or 27th, the richest person in the world.
Man, I bet you she gets all the boys now.
I'm sure. I
All
hope
of
she's
them.
kicking butt and taking names. I mean, good for her. You know?
Damn.
She picked the right guy to marry.
True.
That's for damn sure.
For damn sure.
I'm going to follow her plan. I got to seek out future Mrs. Bezos clone.
Just go to find her, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking for
Yeah, a little bit of a younger
young,
man, you
young
know.
buck out here in Colorado.
I'll hit her up for you. I'll put in a good word.
All right. Well, anyway, sorry, that was a little detour there. I think it's the mead, you know?
Yeah, that's what we're good at, though. The
Yeah.
detours.
Oh, yeah. So the plot of this game, I had no fucking idea what this game was about. I looked it up.
Yeah,
And so this is what the plot is, Mike. Do you know? Did you look it up?
a little bit, yeah.
I mean, I knew it was something with Space Marines and Mars, and I knew hell got involved, but I didn't really know what happened.
I didn't know the setting, which I'm currently reading. This is interesting.
Yeah. So you play as Doomguy, a Space Marine sent to Mars as punishment for refusing to shoot civilians. The Space Marines that he's a part of, they're security for a military organization that were attempting to create a teleportation device and they were running experiments between the two moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos. I don't know if those are the real Mars moons or not.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the moons of Mars.
So eventually this teleportation causes Deimos to disappear completely, that moon, and then some bad creatures start appearing through the teleporter that was still on Phobos. These Marines are getting possessed, and there's also demons that are coming out and just like killing people and walking these Mars facilities. So essentially your only hope for survival is to fight your way out. There are 4 chapters in the game. The fourth one's actually on Ultimate Doom only. That one didn't come out till 1995. But the first one, Knee Deep in the Dead, the first chapter is on the moon of Phobos.
Mm-hmm.
The second chapter, Shores of Hell, is on Deimos, which is the moon that disappeared. And you find out it was floating above hell. That's where it teleported to. Inferno, chapter 3, takes place in hell.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then, as you like to say, and then Thy Flesh Consumed, the 4th chapter in Ultimate Doom, is actually on Earth because the demons have come to take over Earth.
Interesting. You know, I did see the end. So I only played through the first 3 in the game. The original, what is the original on, Doom, and the ending sort of alluded to the fact you went back to Earth. Didn't even. It straight up says you go back to Earth.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, now I got to play through the rest of it.
Yeah, and I did write down in my notes all of the text scroll at the end because they're pretty funny.
Yeah, they're great.
It's pretty good, so we'll read through those. Cool, man. Why don't you start us off? I put a whole bunch of shit in here about the gameplay. So yeah, why don't you start kicking us off on the gameplay?
Hell yeah. So, gameplay. This is one of the original first-person shooters. Yeah, but like we said, no Y-axis, so just an X-axis going back and forth. It is id Software, like we said, they helped pioneer the first-person shooter, and Doom was also revolutionary for its 3D-esque graphics. There are definitely times when it's not pure 3D, but for the most part, fuck yeah. Single stick, no Y-axis, like I said. Fun question. I noticed you have a question here.
Yeah.
What was the first dual stick shooter you remember playing?
Well, for me, it was first Halo on Xbox. It's the first time I can ever remember playing a dual stick shooter. I know this is a PC game, but I feel like if you're not playing PC, everything's dual stick now.
Yeah.
And even a lot of people like to use a controller when they're playing PC games, even though you're not going to be as good as somebody with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
So that was mine, Halo. What about you?
I think my first dual stick would have been Jedi Knight. Dark Forces 2. I don't think Dark Forces was technically full Y-axis, if I remember correctly, sort of auto-aimed for you like Doom did. But that being said, Jedi Knight, full looking around,
Which one was it? Which Star Wars was it where it had like the behind-the-back 3D third-person perspective, and the guys would pop out and you would shoot them?
Oh,
we talked about it back on episode 4 or whatever.
I think you're talking about Rebel Assault.
I loved watching the videos on that because I've never played Rebel Assault.
That game was pretty bad. It was interesting, and they did a lot of cool things for what technology could do at the time, but that game does not hold up. If you try to play it now, I'm sure someone will disagree with me, but I find it to be unplayable.
Wow.
Personally.
Wow, we're just trying to make everybody mad about these space operas that we're shitting on. Mass Effect and now Star Wars Rebel Assault.
Yeah, if you liked our show before, I hope you hate it now.
Yeah. We're having people delete our show. People are hating our show. Well, we still love you.
Our 2 patrons are going to drop off now because I said that. Damn it. Damn it.
Dang.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't. Okay, so armor and health keep you alive. You find med packs and armor throughout the levels. Now, I'm going to admit this, and this might just be because I have a lower level of intelligence, but what exactly does armor do? Does it take the place of health, or does it cause you to take less damage?
I actually wondered that at times, too. I think it's dependent on what is giving you damage.
Yeah.
Because there would be times where I would see both going down. Like, it's not 100%. If you have 100% armor and 100% health, your armor will go down to 0 before your health will. It's not like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think it's sort of like the best I could figure out in this game, and I did not do any research, is that it was taking sort of your health was going down lower, but is also taking the equivalent of what would have been taken in your health, like cutting it in half and taking that from armor. Not sure if that's the case, though.
It definitely seemed like that. I didn't know 100% either. It's not super clear in the game, but you definitely lose your actual health at a slower clip than you would if you didn't have the armor.
Yeah, totally. You find several guns throughout the game, and much like health and armor, ammo is strewn about the levels and often dropped by the baddies, which is very good because, man, I can't tell you how many times I found myself punching guys to get some shotgun ammo towards the beginning. It was tough.
Shotgun is key in the early stages for sure.
And it's also,
I used it all the way through the end, to be honest.
It's dependable, particularly if you're in those tight hallways, and you don't want to waste all your good ammo.
I mean, the shotgun's still one of my favorite weapons in any first-person shooter.
Totally. Now, something interesting about the shotgun I noticed, there are times in which I could shoot an enemy all the way across the room, a super huge room, with a shotgun and kill him in one hit. But I don't know how much the damage was increased when you were at short range, but it had to be somewhat because there were some enemies you can kill with 3 shots from a shotgun, or if you're close, it only takes 2.
Yeah. It's funny you bring this up, Micah, because I noticed this too. Like the demons, the big pink guys with the big mouths. The
Red Bulls is what I like to call them.
Oh, the Red Bulls, yes.
Yeah.
They typically took 3 shotgun blasts, but every once in a while you'd kill them in 2. And so my thought process was that there is a hitbox that if you hit it perfectly, it does extra damage.
Yeah.
That's all I could come up with. And it is funny because the way the guns work in the game, we talked about there's no y-axis.
Yeah.
And if an enemy's higher than you or below you, it still has the little cursor in the middle. I think in the original game, there's not actually any crosshairs, but I had them turned on in my version. It'll just kind of automatically shoot down. But the same thing for a guy who's like 300 yards away.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're pretty much centered on him, it'll still hit him no matter how far away he is.
And it was kind of hilarious because I was making what would have been considered all these trick shots with a shotgun well across the map, killing them in one hit. It felt weird.
Yeah, and so I guess my answer to your questions is I'm guessing on those long range shots that you happen to kill in one shot, I'm guessing you just got lucky maybe and you hit that hitbox.
It's true.
I'm just kind of going off of what I experience in the game, and it seems like there has to be a higher level damage hitbox every once in a while because some of those guys shouldn't have died in 2 shotgun blasts.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So each of the 4 chapters also ends with the final boss.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty fun. Some of the final bosses were tough and rough and pretty fucking fun to play, to be honest. Other than that, we got levels. They get weird the deeper you get.
Yeah, I don't know. So that line, I just threw that in there because...
Yeah, it's very true, though. These levels get a lot... I think the beginning of the game is pretty standard. It plays a lot like something like Wolfenstein would have,
For sure. The first 9 levels or whatever in that first chapter.
Yeah, but as you get going through the game, they get more complex, more weird. They do some weird moving textures. It just gets really strange.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just tell they were just getting creative with it. So Cool stuff. Yeah, a lot of maze-like levels as well. There aren't really a lot of puzzles to solve, but exploration is definitely important. Sort of like one of the main aspects of this game is you have 3 keys you have to find to be able to progress through each level: the red key, the blue key, and the yellow key. I don't think every level requires you to find all 3.
Yeah, not every level does.
Yeah.
No.
But that being said, it's a very common mechanic in all the levels. Something that was really common in a lot of shooters back then, and I kind of miss it. Actually, it was kind of fun playing through this again and remembering that's how like every game used to be all the time.
You got to save that one for the next time we do the opening segment, defunctions. Bring back old mechanics.
Bring back the fucking colored keys, man.
That's right. God damn it.
Yeah. There's a map that shows where you have been and have not been if you find the computer area map. I actually did not realize how to turn on the map until almost the very end of the game.
No way. You need to know how to turn the map on. It's very helpful.
It's probably why some of these levels took me 15, 20 minutes, So, tough, rough. Wish I had done better. Finding secrets is a huge part of the game, and this is very true. There's like tons of secret areas all over the place. Lots of little places to run, and you can find some cool guns, ammo, get your health back, all this kind of stuff. If you can find a couple of good secret areas, can really boost your ability to beat these levels.
For sure. You can also find closets filled with monsters.
Yeah, monster closets. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of the bonus areas. There's a land deathmatch version or mode in this game, which was a huge deal back in the day.
Yeah. Did you ever play? You just played this for the first time. I never really played deathmatch back in the day, so yeah. I won't have too much to say on this show. I know it was massively popular though.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much one of the first games to offer online play in that way, but it was definitely I think the first 3D game to offer it for a shooter. So, big deal. Broke ground on something that's...
I mean, this game broke ground in a lot of ways.
Yeah, for real. So, that was a huge deal. Once again, like you said, I know it was a huge deal. Never played it myself, so interesting. But yeah, weapons list. Let's talk about these bad boys real quick.
Oh, yeah.
So, first up, you got your fist, which I think you'd have some sort of sharp thing.
I think you have brass knuckles on it.
Yeah,
you got little pointies on it.
You got something that it's helping you punch them. Punching isn't really doing too much though. You can still manage to kill enemies by punching them. Sometimes you run out of ammo, and that's all you can do.
If you're not in berserk mode though, you don't want to be punching.
Yeah, love that berserk mode punch. One of my favorite weapons in the game, the chainsaw, definitely comes in handy when you're in tight hallways. Particularly if you're fighting those Red Bull demons, like we were talking about.
I think chainsaws are a little underrepresented in video games. I mean, how awesome. Just great design, but the Gears of War gun that has a fucking chainsaw on the gun.
Now, do you feel like that came from Halo? Or not Halo. Do you feel like that came from Doom?
I mean, it was probably inspired from Doom for sure. Absolutely.
I certainly think so, too. I think being able to chainsaw your enemies is one of the greatest parts about this game.
They kind of get stuck to you and they vibrate around.
Yeah.
Shaking.
It's fun because they can't really attack while you're attacking them. So that's why a lot of times if it's a tight hallway and you only have those melee enemies, chainsaw will be a great option. Mm-hmm. But yeah, other than that, you have your basic pistol, which is sort of a, you get a clip, but it's a sort of one shot at a time. It's not an automatic pistol by any means. Difficult. It's what you start the game with. So, you have to refer back to it on occasion when you run out of ammo, but it's still pretty wimpy. Next up, you get the shotgun. You get this super early in the game. It is useful throughout the whole entire game. Other than that, you got the chain gun, which shoots pistol rounds, and I think it does about the same damage, but it shoots them about 14 million times as fast. So it's a lot of fun, And I
don't know if it's called the chain gun. I put chain gun. What is it called? It's like a turning gun.
I think it's called the rail gun in this
rail
one.
Gun.
Yeah.
Rail gun, okay.
But it's a badass gun. Definitely love it a lot. The rockets, which was always my bane, because I killed myself every single time I tried to use this fucking weapon.
Very strong.
Very strong.
But friendly fire.
Mm-hmm. Plasma gun, really like this. The ammo goes way too fast, though. Mm-hmm. It's a heavy repeater shooting plasma bolts. It's pretty nice. It looks like little stars.
Oh, yeah.
And then probably the most famous of all the weapons in this game, the BFG 9000. Big fucking gun.
The big fucking gun.
Now, it's funny because I'd never played this game before, but you get the equivalent of the BFG in the Chex Quest game that I did play. I remember that. Plays exactly the same. Shoots slowly and blows up and,
What's it called?
I don't remember.
big fucking checks.
the B C. I don't know.
BCG, the big checks gun.
Yeah, I was gonna say something along.
Did
those
you ever
lines.
see the Doom movie with The Rock from 2005?
No, me and my roommate were literally talking about this right before I walked out of the door today. Though never saw it.
I've
Did you?
only seen it one time. I saw it in theaters
Oh wow.
because I liked Doom as a child. I guess I was 17 at the time when that movie came out.
Yeah.
And 2005, right? 17, around there, give or take a year.
Mm.
And there's the reason I was so excited about it is there was a whole scene in the movie that was in the first person viewpoint.
Really?
And so you're running behind a guy and he's just like lighting demons up. It's pretty cool. It's actually a pretty cool scene. But there's a moment in it, and I don't remember the exact lines, but The Rock picks up this giant gun and he goes, "That's a big fucking gun." And it's like a throwback to, the BFG 9000.
Man, I gotta watch this movie now because if you watch through like the Resident Evil film, which is arguably horrible but really enjoyable,
I saw that one in theaters too.
Yeah, dude.
I love
that shit takes you back,
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Video game movies, awful, terrible, wonderful.
Whatever the lady's name who stars in Resident Evil has been in every video game movie, I swear.
Yeah.
I haven't
Once you're
seen
in one.
all of the Resident Evil ones, but I've seen some of them.
I've seen like the first one and I think most of the second one, but it's been so long. I could not tell you the premise. Loosely based off the video game, but not really. That's all I really remember.
Wasn't it? All right, so I haven't looked into this. I'm stretching into my memories here. Wasn't Resident Evil directed by, what's his name, Uwe Ball?
I don't know, actually.
He was a European filmmaker, I believe, who was just known to make some of the worst movies, but he could do them good enough that people enjoyed them, but they were objectively bad, but they were just good enough. And I'm pretty sure he made a whole bunch of video game adaptations.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the original film of Resident Evil, 1997, or
It's Uwe Boll, I'm pretty sure.
no, it's 2001, right? Was when it came out.
I guess. Damn.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is the guy I'm thinking of.
Okay, because I'm looking the Resident Evil film series. It says directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, Alexander Witt, Russell McCauley.
So maybe he didn't do. Maybe I'm getting confused with Resident Evils. I know he made a whole lot of video game movies. Uwe Boll. Let me see here. He did House of the Dead, Blood Rain 2, Alone in the Dark, Far Cry, Rampage. He worked on all of these video game movies. I guess he didn't do Resident Evil though.
Damn.
Dang.
I've also never seen the Rampage film. I don't know if I want to, but eventually I'm sure I will. It's funny though, because that also has The Rock in it.
Well, the Rampage that he worked on is from 2009.
Oh, there's actually an old one?
I guess so, Micah. I just learned that right now too.
Damn.
Yeah. Anyway, he does have a movie called Zombie Massacre 2.
Sounds like a winner right there.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on from Zombie Massacre and Uwe Boll.
Oh yeah. But dude, honestly, I need to watch more of these bad video game movies. That's come Christmas break. That's when I'm gonna start concentrating.
We'll get Uwe on the show.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if his name's pronounced Uwe. I really don't.
We'll ask him ourselves.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So
Mr. Bull.
Mr. Bull. Power-ups for this game. You get Berserk, which is sort of, I think you essentially kill things in one hit when you melee them. I feel like sometimes I got it and I wouldn't kill things in one hit, but I love it because on occasion they blow up, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invincibility.
Yeah, I think I meant to change that to invulnerability, and I copied over something else.
Because I see there's invincibility and invulnerability.
Yes, I think I meant to change invincibility and change something else. Listen, man, proofreading has never been my strong suit. With emails, I type and send.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to type and send.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, at this day and age, come on. No one cares anyway.
Deal with it.
Full armor and health is another power up you can get, which is very useful. Radiation shielding suit, which is pretty awesome. I think it also lets you walk through lava a lot too, so that's pretty dope. Backpacks full of ammo, which gives you 2 times ammo capacity, and also light amplification visor, which I only picked up one time in this game. I don't know about you, but
It's not very common.
Yeah.
One, two times maybe.
just lets you see in the dark, essentially. But yeah, characters and enemies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to go through every one of them. There's not that many, though. I guess we can. And we can kind of highlight some of our favorites, like... So you play as Doomguy. We kind of already went through his backstory and the plot. But, he enjoys kicking ass, taking names.
Mm-hmm.
I love his facial expressions. When he gets a new gun, he has this shit-eating grin. He's so happy.
Yeah.
And for people who haven't played the game, at the bottom of the screen... It shows your armor, your health, the keys you've collected, the weapon, ammo. But it has a little picture of Doomguy, and as he takes damage, he gets more and more bloodied.
Yeah.
But if he finds a key or he finds a gun, he gets really excited. So his facial expressions are hilarious, and when he's just when you're not doing anything, his eyebrows raise up and down. Yeah, and he's looking around the room, as Micah was just looking at me.
I was doing the facial stuff.
That was pretty good. You should be Doomguy for Halloween.
That would actually be a lot of fun.
Just put a gray box around your head and just make those expressions.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. People will get it for sure. Like, me and you will get it. Maybe Eric will get it. I don't know.
Yeah, some people will get it.
Yeah.
If you gotta get the hair with the crop cut, the military cut.
Yeah.
So the first couple enemies we have listed here are Zombie Man.
Fuck Zombie Man.
Shotgun Guy. Essentially, they're some of the possessed soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie Man has looks like an assault rifle, and Shotgun Guy obviously has a shotgun. They're the only human enemies you have in the game.
They're very common all throughout.
Yes. You can pretty much kill them with anything. They don't need to take a lot of damage to kill them. They don't inflict a lot of damage. Yeah, all throughout the game. And then we got the imps.
Yeah.
Imps are annoying because they're frequent.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most utilized enemies in the game, and they throw fireballs at you, so you can get hit in the back when you're not paying attention. And they're easy to dodge if they're just standing in front of you.
Yeah.
But if there's a bunch of them, or if you're not looking right at them, yeah, they can get you.
I got killed by a group of these guys a couple times throughout the game. They get a little bit tough. But overall, you take them down. If it's just you and one, or if you have three in front of you, they're easy to take out. But like you said, if they get behind you or there's a big group with them, they can get dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. I think the next one is one of my favorite enemies. We have the Demon, which you called them Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm. But I think they're referred to as pinkies.
Yes, referred to as pinkies because they're pink.
Yeah. They are a hard time to take out sometimes. They have, substantially more health than I think most of the other enemies that are introduced up to this point. Yeah. They only have melee attack, though.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take them out.
Yes, but they also are the only enemy that's going to be invisible throughout the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they got me a lot.
Yeah. And now, I don't know if you had this experience. This may have just been a glitch. Who even knows? But did they zigzag a lot for you? Because they zigzagged quite a lot. I think that might be the way that they're programmed.
I think they are because they run at you. They're very quick, but they do zigzag a lot. It's
which makes it hard to shoot them.
Exactly. You never know when they're going to kind of zag around.
Yeah, invisible pinkies were very frustrating at times.
Yeah, and I have I forget the website. I think it was GameFAQs.com. It's one of those gaming websites where I had a bunch of information on all the enemies. And this says this creature may look like a pink version of Zool. And if I'm remembering, Zool was the enemy in the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
And if you look at Pinky here, you see the resemblance.
I definitely do. He's a big monstery Pinky Zool for sure.
Yeah, if Sigourney Weaver and what's his name? The short guy, Honey, I Shrunk Your Kids.
I always forget that guy's name.
He hasn't done anything in 20 years.
So he recently got beat up on the street. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, poor guy.
I heard about it because I was watching SNL and Bill Burr's stand up. He opens with him getting punched in the face, whatever this guy's name is.
I mean, that's kind of sad. But the dude we're thinking of is Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah, love that guy.
He's great. Honestly, his character in Ghostbusters is definitely underrated.
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
It really adds a lot of comedy to the to the scenes. He actually monologue or what's it called? He
Improvised?
Improvised
Yeah.
a lot of his own lines.
Nice.
So that's why it's so good.
When he's walking around the party telling everybody about like how he saved money on the fish and it's so good.
Yeah, I love that shit.
I invited all of my clients because I could write it off if instead of inviting my friends, you know. Yeah.
So Invisible Pinky, I guess, is technically called Spectre, is what's listed here. Now, the guys that I actually had probably more of a hard time with than most of the enemies in this game were the Lost Souls. They are flying, flaming skulls with horns that will, when they see you, sort of like fly really fast at you to attack you. And they can be difficult, particularly when there's a lot of them, you know?
Yeah, they typically are in packs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's one level in particular that when you open the door, there's like 10 of them in there. They all just come bum rushing at you.
Yeah, these guys are very unforgiving. But yeah, I think you know, one or two shots of the shotgun usually takes them out. They're pretty, you know, standard as far as their health.
I mean, they don't take one shotgun blast. You have to get them 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah,
even when they're right in your face, you know.
It says 2 to 3 here, and I think that's correct. Yeah, they are tough, particularly when you don't when you're down to your melee only weapons. It can be difficult to take these guys out. You know, if you can get one cornered with the chainsaw when it's alone, that's one thing. But even then, they'll still manage to get a hit or two in. Their attack doesn't hurt too much, but they can charge you rapidly, like we were saying. Yeah, but they always popped up in large number. That's particularly later on in the game. That's why it was why it was a hard time. What is a pain chance?
So I think a pain chance means that if it gets to a point where it can hit you, it will actually hurt you.
Oh, gotcha.
And so 100% pain chance from these guys.
Interesting.
I'm not 100% positive if that's right, though.
Yeah. I will say, though, and it has this listed here, and this is very true, don't use a rocket launcher against this enemy because he will come flying at you and you will hurt yourself. I died a couple times doing that shit.
Oh, me too.
Learned the hard way. Now, this guy is probably, I think, one of the more famous of the Doom enemies, the Cacodemon.
Mm-hmm.
He essentially looks like a big old ball with teeth, one eyeball, horns, red, looks angry as fuck. He's tough.
Have you ever read, I think we might have talked about it at some point on the show, the scary story books that have the really weird, crazy looking art? I guess not, because you probably weren't allowed to see those when you were a kid.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that my parents probably would have encouraged us not to partake
Yeah,
in.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I think they were called. There's like 3 volumes of them. This demon, and I haven't seen the Scary Stories books in a long time, so if I looked at them, they probably looked nothing alike. But when I was a kid, I always related this Cacodemon with one of the monsters drawn in that book.
Yeah.
So kind of like, whenever I see him, I think of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Yeah.
A weird relation, you know?
I think out of all the enemies, I probably find him to be the creepiest.
You think so?
Yeah.
He is pretty damn creepy, yeah.
It's pretty damn creepy. But
one of the better designs, too. I think he's a very cool enemy.
yeah, and I think this just goes to show these guys were, you know, once they'd established the beginning of the game, having a chance to move on and create new and original enemies, it just got better and cooler and weirder and creepier.
And these are a bullet sponge. I don't think they're the hardest enemy because they're very slow and lumbering.
Yeah.
They're pretty easy to stay at a distance from.
Totally. I would say that they are probably equivalently as hard when you have 2 or 3 of them as, say, one Baron of Hell, which is the next enemy.
Baron of Hells, they're not messing around, man.
Nah, man. These guys look like sort of like what you'd imagine Satan looks like. They have goat legs, goat horns. Their red upper body is all muscular and scary looking. I think he has claws. It's hard to tell, but he's got sort of a green energy around his hands. He throws sort of like green fireballs at you.
And you face 2 of them. The very first time you come across them, you face 2 of them. They're the final boss in the very first chapter, I believe.
Indeed.
They were cool stage.
Yeah, they were tough at first.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, a good approach to defeating these enemies is move backwards, dodge when they attack, and just shoot as much as you can until you run out of ammo. And then just run like hell, because you don't want to melee these guys. Not a good move.
So I just looked up what the pain chance is, and it says a monster's pain state is an action frame used for that monster when being momentarily stunned by a damaging attack. This probability is called the monster's pain chance.
Oh.
So I guess that means when you hit the flying heads, whatever they're called, the lost souls,
Oh, yeah, because they always stop.
they always stop. That's the pain chance.
That makes sense. Because those dudes, seriously, man, whenever they rush you, the only way you can stop them is shooting them.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, too, I would, to conserve ammo, switch to my shittier guns.
Yeah.
Just because, you can hit them, keep them in place, and kill them pretty quick.
Yeah. So I was totally wrong about that. But hey, we made up for it.
We did. Now, the other bosses that you'll encounter, Spider Mastermind, he's kind of a big asshole. And then also, my favorite, Cyber Demon.
Cyber Demon, he looks the most high tech in the game.
Yeah, he's a cyborg demon. He's great.
Well, I mean, like graphically, I think it looks the best.
Yeah.
But he also is programmed in a way where he's constantly doing circles and moving very quickly. So he also looks kind of hilarious.
Yeah. I feel like wasn't there another, like one more boss not listed here?
Well, no, because you play the very first boss is the two Baron of Hells, right? The Barons of Hell. And then you play the Cyber Demon, and then you play the Spider. And then in Ultimate Doom, it's the Spider again.
Oh, okay. I just thought there was another new boss after. But
No, you play the Spider Demon twice.
Yeah, that guy's an asshole.
Yeah, he is. Because he's like the mastermind. He's the one who's masterminding this whole takeover and everything.
He is kind of a giant brain, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he is really hard. We'll get to that when we go through the walkthrough, but he's a tough enemy.
Indeed, he was not a pushover.
No, sir.
By any means.
So, Micah, we're right about the hour mark, and
Mhm.
we're right about to the point where we're going to be walking through the actual playthrough. So I think this is a high time for a happy hour. What do you think?
I definitely agree with you. I think the lack of meat in your glass would also agree with you.
I'm feeling very happy right now from the mead that's in my belly, but I could use some more.
Yeah, meat always makes me happy.
I'm gonna pour a little bit.
Well, fuck yeah.
So happy hour, Micah, is kind of our in between section of the show where we're about to start the second half. Oh,
You should finish that bad boy
I'm gonna
up.
give you a little bit more.
No. I've got plenty. If you got to top yourself off with what's left.
I'm giving you the rest, Micah.
Fine. This is going to be a great episode.
Oh, hell yeah. I think my glass is a little wider. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Now,
Okay, good.
all right. So, like I was saying, this section of the show is when we kind of go through things in life that are going on that aren't video game related that
Mhm.
we want to bring up, chat about, kind of mention to people if they want to check out something that is away from the gaming sphere. If you have any questions, comments, manifestos,
Breakup letters.
let's send some happy things maybe.
Yeah. Send us your happiest, thought on something if you want. Why not?
Yeah. If you just want to send us a happy thought,
Yeah.
sure. But today, we'll just kind of talk about what we've been doing outside of video gaming. Micah, why don't you kick us off?
Well, as you know, John, this last week has been absolute hell and pandemonium. I've probably spent upwards of 10 hours each day trying to complete, projects, school, working. It's mostly just been a long, blurry week of I can't remember. But in amongst all that gloom and doom, one thing that I parted the clouds, that parted the sea to enjoy, so to speak, would be the new episode of fucking The Mandalorian. Which
I haven't watched any of
I
it
know.
yet. I'm excited.
I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they are beginning to connect the threads of the wider web of Star Wars. Some of the older shows are getting connected. Other characters and stuff are coming back from the original trilogy, from the new trilogy. They're making a lot of connections right now in the show.
No, I haven't heard anything, and I don't want you to say anything.
Yeah.
But, one of the things I liked about Solo, the prequel. Spoiler for Solo, the Star Wars movie about Han Solo's origins. If you haven't watched it, here comes a spoiler. But Darth Maul is seen at the end of it, and
Mhm.
he's apparently going to be the villain if I don't think they're going to make another Solo movie because it didn't do that well. I mean, it still made like $700 million.
I was actually just reading an interview recently, and they're saying it's promising that they will. It just might be a while.
Okay, because I don't think it was a great movie, but I enjoyed it, and I was curious enough to see where the story would lead, right?
Yeah.
I love Han Solo. He's one of my favorite characters of all time. But I love Darth Maul. I hate how they handled Darth Maul in episode 1. He was like the best thing from episode 1.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you said that they tie in some prequel stuff. That's my hope. Don't say anything else. But that's my hope.
I won't say anything.
I didn't actually know they brought in prequel things, so you said that, and that's what came to mind.
Yeah. But I definitely, one of the things I really like, and this is in no way spoilers, they're bringing in a lot of the old aliens back through Star Wars. And this last episode, there was a lot of Bon Calamari, like what Admiral Akbar is. They go to a planet that's mostly those guys. So it's kind of cool because they're bringing back those old school effects, like the traditional like animatronics. It's not 3D, so it's a really fun thing to watch them bring in these.
That is very cool,
dude. And I'm just gonna
that is
say,
a minor spoiler though.
Well, I don't know. You don't have characters. You just see a lot of these aliens. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
But you'd be like, whoa.
Well, fine, but you see them in the first season, I think. I don't know. Anyway,
That's very cool though. I'm excited for The Mandalorian. Me and my brother are saving it for Christmas break. We're gonna watch the whole thing.
Oh man, you're gonna like it. I won't say anything else though. If you consider that a spoiler, my lips are way too
I'm
loose.
the worst person. I hate learning anything. I don't watch trailers, anything.
Dude, it depends.
My ex-girlfriend hated talking to me about anything she would watch because I'd be like, no, that's a spoiler. Stop it.
No, that's understandable. I know a lot of people who are purists about this kind of stuff.
Well, you got the mead lung?
No, I just went down the wrong way, So I guess I do have mead lung.
Mead
now.
pipe.
Yeah, it's good for your lungs.
Yeah.
The honey's good for your lungs. Yeah, no, but I definitely think they're continuing a story arc from the first season, and it's just getting better and better every episode. The budget's way bigger, so the effects are even better than they were in the first season. It's great. I'm really stoked to see what the next episode 4, is going to be all about.
Very cool. I enjoyed The Mandalorian. We've talked about it a little bit. I think I'm a little bit more lukewarm than most. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, though.
That is totally fair. A lot of people didn't like the middle of the series, the season 1. My little brothers hated the middle of this
I know.
season.
We talked about it because I said I liked the one with Bill Burr, that I really liked that episode.
And they hate that episode.
But
I will say this, though, and
I think it's because I like Bill Burr. I think he's funny.
I have no connection to Bill Burr. So for me, it was just an actor playing a character, But that being said, I've gone back and watched some of his comedy, so it's weird now. But all that being said, they both really like what's going on in the new season, so I think it's good stuff. You'll like it.
All right.
So fuck yeah,
that's a good one, The Mandalorian. That's probably more exciting than the one that I'm going to talk about. Now, I've mentioned Last of Us 2, so originally I was going to talk about that. I did finally beat it. I don't think when we last recorded I had beat it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, it is an incredible game, and we have to do an episode on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have some gripes about it, but that's neither here nor there. I was gonna do that, but yeah. I'm just gonna talk about doing home repairs because it's been such a thing I've done the last couple days. My house that I live in, I live in this tiny little basement studio.
Cozy basement studio.
Cozy basement studio, garden level.
Mm-hmm.
Garden level. This house was built in 1890. So every time I think I have a small project, every single time, Micah, it turns into this giant ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding you. I've never been able to do something that should be easy simply. Because once you take a thing apart, it just isn't what you thought it would be. And so I'm trying to put a new faucet on my shower because a chunk of metal broke off of my other one and it was spraying water, so I had to fix it. Well, once I got it all off, none of the fittings fit this new one because the guy who put this house together, he did everything just piecemeal. He would find a piece of metal and bend it and turn it into something that would hold a shower together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So home repairs, just the joys of home repairs. Now I got to say, it feels good to getting your hands dirty a little bit, doing things.
Yeah, totally.
So if you're out there and you have something that you're dreading, a home repair or something else, once you get started on it, it feels good to know that it will be done.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Similar line of thought. Car repair has been something I've had to deal with a lot lately. But, a lot of times it's just a matter of like looking up what I'm doing, learning, and just get my hands dirty, get some elbow grease, so to speak. Mostly it's just car grease, but, that being said, it's fun. Doing work on things yourself, if it's not unreasonable, is a fun time,
Yeah.
and it's its own reward. You save a lot of money.
The saying elbow grease. What exactly? I've never, I hear it all the time, and I know what it means when you're like doing hard work, like manual labor and stuff. But what does it actually mean? Like, where does elbow grease come from?
I honestly don't know the answer to that question. Now, this is what I've always pictured. It's like the difference in something happening and not happening is the hard work you put into it. It's like the same thing, a door opening or not opening, you have to grease it. So it's sort of like you're greasing the situation with your hard work. Is what I've always thought, but I don't know. But also maybe it's the grease secreted from the elbow gland.
You got some greasy elbows, dude. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
I Googled it. The first thing that comes up is a very obvious. This is what I always assumed. Means applying hard manual labor, probably since when doing manual labor, there's a lot of flexion of the elbow. But it's like, that's what I thought. But I thought there was going to be a deeper meaning than that, So, I mean, technically, when we're recording the show, we're drinking. And it's part of the show.
Yeah.
So we're flexion, whatever that.
Flexing
We're
our
applying a lot of
elbows.
elbow grease to the show is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and a lot of social lubricants as well.
Mm-hmm. Actually, zero manual labor.
Yeah, fuck manual labor.
Setting
all
up
honestly,
the
okay,
microphones is
I
about
I
it.
think it's a really nice thing that Americans appreciate and respect hard physical work. I will be so happy one day when my income is not reliant on physical labor. Because working in a restaurant, it's a physical job,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it's like, time management and other things too, whatever. But yeah, physical labor, fuck it. I hate it.
Man, there's a grass is always greener side of that, though. Like, I miss so much the aspect of working at Vine Street.
Yeah.
Where I was on my feet all day and I
Man.
was moving around. Like, I sit on my fucking ass and I got the standing desk and I stand for a couple hours a day now.
Yeah.
And it's not the same. You're not like walking. You're not carrying stuff.
I will say on the same note of grass is always greener, I've just been missing Vine, man. Missing working with the group of people we had. It was nice,
Me too. I've missed them for a solid year almost now.
I just saw a picture of everyone went to Vine yesterday, and they were all like, I like Stu texted this group of people that I started a chat group at the beginning of quarantine of people who played Call of Duty, War at War or Modern Warfare or whatever, because I had it at the time and I wanted to play with everyone. And like Stu texted this group and he's like, hey, we're all out here, like come out. And I was like, so fucking balls deep in studying, I couldn't do it. It was,
God, I need to get on that group. I would have loved to see everybody.
Dude, I'll add you to the group. I got to delete a few people who've moved away anyway, so new group.
Which Call of Duty was that?
Modern Warfare, the not the full game. I never actually bought the game.
Oh, this was like the reimagining of Modern Warfare.
Yeah, like the Warzone, not the remaster. But this is Warzone, specifically the Battle Royale game that was for free.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah, they did. Well, the confusing thing is because they did the remaster, but they also just made Modern Warfare again, which was like a reboot of Modern Warfare, right? But it was a brand new game. So I said reimagining, but I guess a reboot would be the right word.
They keep doing that confusing thing where they name it super close to the old name, but it's a reboot. Or I hate it. Just name it whatever for, so I know what's going on. You don't name
just number them.
Yeah, that would be like saying Star Wars New Hope instead of A New Hope. Why would you do that?
No, I mean, it's worse than that. It's literally calling it Star Wars A New Hope. Because there was a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Then they created a game called Call of Duty Modern Warfare, but it's a totally different game.
Yeah, fuck that.
Didn't they? Am I crazy?
No, but a lot of times with some of the Call of Duty releases, they've done things like, I don't know, there's the Call of Duty World War II and there's Call of Duty World at War. Things like that, small differences in the titles. I don't know if that's always been Call of Duty's like go-to, but a bunch of video games that have been coming out with new versions and new reboots and remasters have been doing that. It's just making me really confused. I don't like it. Stop doing it.
It's just like movies, though. They're remaking everything because they know it'll make money.
Yeah, nostalgia. You got us. You got us by the wallet. Disney, mostly.
Yeah, is what it is. Listen. We've talked about Star Wars a lot in this. And you can hate the new trilogy. You can love the new trilogy. It gave us Rogue One. And I think that's one of the finest Star Wars films that have been made. So, you know what? It was worth it.
Yeah, I recently rewatched it. Like, I think I was like, maybe like 2 weeks ago. Man, it still just holds up. It's still so
It's
good.
really good, right? I haven't seen it for a few years now, but I remember it being amazing.
That scene,
I've seen
with
it
like the
twice.
3D Tarkin scenes that can get a little weird, but other than that, it's great.
It's the biggest mishap of the film. When I saw that movie in theaters, you see Tarkin's reflection in the glass, and I was like, this is genius. You're going to have like a quick scene.
Yeah.
And then when he turned, I was like, you should have just done the reflection. That was perfect.
Yeah, they need to do it like more tastefully because you can definitely tell that's not a real person. But if it's small, minor, tasteful stuff, like case in point, in the last Star Wars film, I recently rewatched through that one as well.
What, Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah. People hate on it. I still think it was better than the second one in that trilogy. Or
You have to view it as popcorn flick only.
exactly.
And you enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you want it to be a Star Wars film that makes sense, it's not for you.
No, hell no. But all that being said, fuck, I forgot the point I was trying to make here. Oh yeah, there's a scene where they do that face replacing technology stuff, and there's like a flashback scene of Luke and Leia when they're still young.
Mm-hmm.
That was very tasteful, very minor moment in the film. Looked great. But if you had kept that scene going for too long, or had a long conversation between the two of them, it would have been awkward.
Well, see, the Tarkin was too long.
It was way too long.
It was way too long.
Yeah.
That's an example of something I would like them to go back and make better as time goes on.
They will. You know they're gonna do that.
You know, I don't want them
eventually.
to do like the George Lucas and add a fucking Jabba the Hutt.
No, they're gonna do that scene.
Or
There's gonna be a little.
chicka bow
Yeah, there's
wow.
gonna be a little band playing in the background.
No, just fix his face. Just make it look more realistic.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't change a single thing other than making it look more realistic.
Agreed.
All right, man. So let's do a little walk through here. So there's a lot of levels. I took notes here and there.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go through every level, you know, because there's so many of them, and also a lot of them. It's the same thing over and over.
Yeah. These levels don't really. There's not a lot of them that are very unique.
I would agree.
Yeah.
And the unique ones oftentimes aren't good unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely know what you mean there.
It's just like they were trying to do something. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
You can tell that this is before some of the kinks have been worked out in first-person shooters, and particularly when it comes to like level design, layout. There are some awkward things, you know, in these levels for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this game helped push level design forward for sure, but I mean, it's rough around the edges. From a level design standpoint, I think that's one of the weakest aspects of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot argue with that. Now, I will say though, in comparison to things like Wolfenstein 3D, this is a huge step up.
Oh yeah,
Wolfenstein
massively.
3D is very linear. You know, ordinarily you only have one level, and the whole entire level is on one level. You know, it's not multi-leveled.
Mm-hmm.
This does actually, you know, there's is climbing up and down. A lot of times there are levels that are like three levels up and down, which was interesting. But yeah, sometimes it's very cumbersome.
Yeah. Well, and when I say weakest part of the game, I'm specifically referring to during my playthrough recently. I'm not saying in 1993 it was one of the weakest part of the games.
Yeah.
I had fun in many ways, but the level design in 2020 was one of the things that I kept noticing over and over. I was like, this does make it feel old. This is an outdated design philosophy, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I just want to make sure I'm not shitting on the 1993 level design aspect.
But that's very much worth mentioning.
Yeah.
When you talk about this game in a retrospective point of view, the level design does not hold up.
It doesn't.
Nope.
But it's kind of also what's charming about it because you're like, man, this is kooky.
Yeah. Why am I doing this?
It's just like random thing, like rooms with just stacks of blocks and they make no sense. I don't know. We'll talk about some of this stuff. Okay, so we start in chapter 1, knee deep in the dead. This was the freeware chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Sent it out. 15 to 20 million people played this. Pretty awesome that they did that. I think it's a cool approach. So yeah, I mean, how do we want to go through this? I mean, I have notes here and there on different levels. Should we just kind of bring them up as we have notes?
Yeah, totally. I think we could just sort of hit them in order as we want to.
So for the hangar, which is the first level, It is a classic level. As soon as I booted it up, I remembered it. Now, I did play this, like I said earlier, in college, the first chapter, only chapter I played. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much an iconic level. And actually, maybe a year ago, I was watching a speed run. It's kind of like a mini documentary on how somebody landed the fastest speed run of this level.
Wow.
There was this whole idea that they could get to a certain part if they had like a certain time frame, and I forget what it was. It was only like a few milliseconds different, right? And people were trying forever and ever to get this speed run, and somebody eventually did it. And it was like this 15 or 20-minute mini documentary on YouTube about how a guy eventually beat the speed score. And so from that perspective, it makes a pretty mundane level seem pretty cool. If you actually watch it, and like how much intricacy, just from a speedrunning perspective, how much intricacy goes into something as simple as trying to beat a level as quickly as possible.
Yeah, seriously.
So if you've never watched any speedruns, I would recommend watching somebody who breaks down what somebody is doing in a speedrun. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, as someone who just watches as an outsider, it's really easy to sort of just take for granted all the little details that go into making, you know, shaving off those milliseconds, like you're saying.
Yeah. But it is a pretty easy level. There's not a lot of excitement going on here.
This just is pretty much an intro to the game.
Mm-hmm.
It holds your hand a little bit. It's not too hard.
Blue floors right off the bat.
And awesome metal music.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect with the music, but it's great.
The music's pretty good. I mean, the newer games are full on metal, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I've only seen parts of Doom 2016. I definitely want to play Doom Eternal though.
Yeah.
But yeah. How do you feel about the music in the game on the whole? We haven't talked about that at all.
On the whole, I think it's actually one of the aspects of the game that actually holds up. You know, it's definitely weird at times. Seems a little out of place, but it just transports you back into that time. You know, It's got metal for sure. Some of it's a little bit more just like sort of jangly. I don't know exactly what style of music you could even call it. Like goofy metal rock, you know?
It is kind of a mashup of we're a video game, but we're hardcore, you know?
Yeah, but it's not super hardcore. I think definitely compared to the new ones, the soundtrack is chill.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple songs or a couple tracks in there that are kind of eerie, I guess.
And there are some that are actually more synth heavy rather than being synthesized guitar heavy.
You know, I'm excited to talk about Blade Runner soon because I know you love the synth, so you would pick out the synth in Doom.
Yes. But, you know, that's immediately where my mind goes when I hear that. I'm like, oh, this is a cool synth track. But I haven't written down a couple, you know, episodes. I think level 3 is when I was like, cool synth sounds. But, yeah, anyway, like I said, red, blue carpets. This level is weirdly blue, red, green, and very gray.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like kind of the style of the times, I guess, because other games are very much the same. But yeah, weird, strange. I guess it works though, or it worked previously.
It did work. It seems weird now, but you know, limitations of the time.
Yeah.
The blue floors immediately is hilarious though, because like, where do you ever see neon blue floors?
Dude, I think
that's like the first vision of the game.
Hell yeah. I think the first couple things I noticed booting this up and playing this first level. One, instantly, blue floor. What the fuck? It's like a really weird, like bright blue too. Then as you're going through, it's very like, you know, primary colors except for green, and then gray, you know. And then the other thing is the first couple enemies you come across, you know, these zombie guys, when you kill them, it makes the same sound as the camels in Age of Empires. And I can't get that out of my head.
I was wondering where you were going with that. We got to play Age of Empires.
We do. I love Age of Empires 2. It's one of my favorite games, and I'm always down.
No, you had the idea. We're going to play a multiplayer and do an episode on it. I'm in.
It'll be fun. I'll probably have to, at some point, play through a lot of the, you know, single-player campaign, because that was also a really popular thing in Age of Empires 2, but I think it's more about the multiplayer matches. I mean,
I'm down to do both. I loved those games back in the day. It's been forever since I've played them. So
yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have too much to mention. Green slime is in this level, and it's a classic 90s video game trope. You know, always makes its comeback in 3D shooters, and not even just in this game. If you look at games like Dark Forces, the Star Wars game that's essentially a Doom clone, there's a lot of green slime, lots of green sewage. And I think it's one of those same things. Like keys and sewage were in every shooter
I mean,
at the
shit,
launch
dude,
of shooters.
green sewage made its way into Donkey Kong Country.
Indeed, it's just such a '90s thing.
It is. It's
Slime.
a '90s video game
Slime.
trope for sure.
But yeah, I want to say too. Eventually, it's a pretty short level. You make your way past that little slimy, suspended platform over the slime. Whenever you come to that door with the 2 candles on either side, that's when you know it's going down.
Oh yeah,
Demonic candles.
we got some demons on the horizon here.
Oh yeah, you just know it's not gonna be a good time.
Quite literally a portal to hell.
Yes, indeed.
So I don't have, as the game progresses, especially in the second and the third chapters, I have more notes. I don't really have a lot of of notes in the first chapter here. The next notes I have is on level 4, command control.
Yeah, like I was saying, I want to point out level 3 had a great synth song, and I really like the intro to the shotgun because you sort of like it's an open pit in the center and there's a lot of enemies. You get that shotgun and it's just like game on.
The shotgun is a game changer when you're using the pistol. Also, the pistol sucks.
Yeah, it does. But also in level 3, this is the first time you can actually get one of those power-ups. I didn't know what the fuck it was. It looked like just a floating blue face, and I sat there trying to shoot it for like 5 minutes before I was like, I guess this isn't an enemy. I don't know what this is. So, but I could hear enemies. I thought he was making those growling noises. So
you were shooting the little orb.
like an idiot.
No, I understand that. It definitely has a face. It's a weird looking thing.
Yeah, I thought he was probably commanding the demons or something. I never played this game before. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, see, I guess I took that for granted because I knew I could just go grab the blue orb.
Oh, well, he was like floating out of reach, and I couldn't figure out how to get around and get to him. So, never picked up that power up.
Well, at least you tried to kill him in classic Doom fashion.
Hell yeah. If you don't know what it is, kill it.
So on level 4, I have that it's the first time you run into Pinky, one of the demons.
Oh, yeah.
For me, that's when Doom starts taking off a little bit once you get more enemies in there. Because at that point, you're really just fighting the imps and the zombie people, which is nothing too exciting. When the demon gets in the picture, we know shit's about to hit the fan a little bit,
Yeah. And I mean, episode 5 or level 5 is actually pretty fucking tough. This was one of the first levels. So you meet Pinky in level 4. Level 5 is where you meet the invisible Pinky. It was tough. But so level 5, all I have written down for this level, and I'm going to read exactly as I wrote it. Damn, there are a lot of enemies. Damn, so many enemies. Get the keys. Damn, there are a lot of invisible enemies now. And then that's all I wrote. I was writing that as I was playing.
And we never heard from him again.
Yeah, I got through it though, but damn, I died a couple times. That last room really got me.
You never played Last of Us 1, right?
No.
So in The Last of Us, there's a lot of notes that you'll find. People who were trapped in a storage room and there was the infected outside and stuff. And what your notes just read like were one of the notes that you find in that game. Damn, there's a lot of enemies. No, there's a lot of enemies.
Yeah, but that was tough, man. There were just so many. That was the first time I played this on one of the harder settings, actually. I'm trying to remember what the settings. Okay, hold up one second. I'm going to look this up. Difficulty settings on Doom.
So you played on one of the harder ones. Now, I got to be honest. I'm going to own up to this. I played it on easier settings. Now, I started off on just regular. I don't know, halfway through the middle first chapter, I was dying a bunch. I just don't like dying anymore, Mike. I don't like replaying things.
Yeah. It's okay. I thought I played it hard, but I apparently played it normal. I played Hurt Me Plenty.
Yeah, that's where I started, and then I eventually dropped down like a wuss.
I think if I'd played through the fourth chapter, I probably would have dropped down too.
Yeah, but I dropped down way before the fourth chapter. I just didn't, I enjoy hard games when I have time. You know what I mean? But these days, I got to fix this freaking shower, and it literally took my entire day today.
Yeah.
Driving to the store and that. So I feel like I'm just such a wuss when it comes to hard games these days.
Sometimes you just got to play to enjoy it, though. And that's totally fair. I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on making a game too hard for themselves. Case in point, Dark Souls, while I enjoy it, is a fucking nightmare to play. because it's so fucking hard. I don't
Yeah.
get people who like that masochistic difficulty setting.
I guess it depends because with Persona, I didn't change it. With Last of Us 2, I played on normal. I did a shitload in
Yeah.
Last of Us 2. Not because the game's necessarily hard. I'm just such a hoarder of resources that if I would fuck something up, because resources are limited, I would just die, and so I could start it over again.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta say, just to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, Fallout New Vegas, if you play that on the hardcore mode, you have to eat, you have to drink, and those resources are really hard to come by. So I loved it because literally what I did in the game, I had I had my storeroom, which is a hotel room I rented, and literally I would just unload all of my pockets on the floor, and I just had like piles of food.
Is this like if you died, you're dead?
No, because you could save it, and you just had to reload your old save, you know. But that being said, if you didn't drink water, you'd die. You didn't eat food, you'd die. And you had, you know.
But I mean, like if hardcore, if you die, do you start back in the very beginning of the game?
No, luckily not.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there is a mode that you can do like that, but I'm not that masochistic. But that being said, it is kind of fun to have to manage your food and water and stuff like that. Hard resources, you have to. I would spend hours just finding stuff to stockpile. Made it fun.
Dude, we have got to play Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
the third one. Yeah,
Man, so many good titles I still gotta play.
I know, there's a million, dude. We got to do Age of Empires, though. I think that's one coming up.
Just the music's so bumping in that title. I'm looking forward to that.
And you said if I get it on Mac, I can play you.
Nope.
Well, fuck. All right,
There's
I got
no
that totally
crossplay.
wrong. All right.
That's how much it sucks. But that being said, there are ways around it, man. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. You were just talking about level 5, enemies everywhere. Oh my God, they're invisible. Save me, help me, mommy.
For sure.
So my next notes are on level 8.
Which is the final level.
Yes. Do you have any other things leading up to that you'd like to talk about?
I just want to say, and this is my only gripe with this game, I forgot to save from level 5 to level 7. I just got really into the game. I was typing my notes, forgot to make a save state. I died at level 7, and then it starts you back at the beginning of the level, but you don't have any of your ammo or weapons. And I couldn't reload my save state because it was all the way back in level 5. So I started fresh on level 7, lost all my weapons. That's my only gripe. That's my only gripe with this game.
See, but I think that's the original way it was. I played on PlayStation. I think you said that yours had the same functionality where it was quick load, quick save.
Yeah.
And I think you might have said that you thought the original had that.
I'm fairly certain because all those games back then had the quick load, quick save function. Case in point, like Dark Forces that I played, very similar. Doom Clone had that same thing.
And so it was to the point where, like, on PlayStation, I could press start, hit quick save, and then start playing, and then I could just easily press start and hit quick load, and I'd go directly to that point with all my shit.
Yeah, same thing on the PC version. But yeah, so level 8.
So level 8, man. This is. Sorry, what was that?
Sweet music, by the way.
Oh, yes.
This level.
One of these levels, I definitely put a note in here about the music that I really like. But this is our. Oh yeah, I did. This is like the only level in the entire note in all of my notes. I think I actually put a music note, and I said I dig the music on this level. It's almost like somber, but still very epic. Like you're about to get to a boss.
Yeah. This is a pretty intense level too.
Yeah.
Just a lot of golden halls essentially to begin.
Yeah, I mean, you start off by seeing a bunch of the pinkies below you rocking around a bunch of barrels with green slime that if you shoot the barrels, they blow up.
Kabam. That's what I did immediately.
Yeah, and so you shoot them and you blow up all these pinkies. And that's really it. It's just a boss stage.
Yeah.
It's a long hallway, builds the suspense. You're given the map like right off the bat, really, so that you can see it's. I think this is the one that looks like a star. It's like a big star-shaped design, so you're just going into one final room, and things are about to go down.
Yeah, and it does.
Oh, it does, man. So tell us about it. We have our first boss encounter.
Yes, these bosses is 2 of the big old badass barons. And they're tough, man. I think they have what was listed as 1,000 health, which most of the enemies only have 100. That's high tier enemies. It's tough, man. Getting them worked down with both of them coming at you was pretty hard. They also will melee attack you, but they also can shoot these energy balls at you. They're a little bit slower moving than some of the other projectiles in the game, but they're devastating.
Yeah.
And if you take 2 hits, you're pretty much done.
You got to keep your distance, but you have to make sure to dodge.
And exactly. But it didn't take too much difficulty, or it wasn't too difficult to get through it for me. It did take a couple tries.
Mm-hmm.
I died a couple times.
Yeah. But those are the Minotaur walking hooved men with the horns on their head that we talked about earlier in the enemy section.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is actually the end, Micah, of the first chapter, I believe.
Yeah.
You did it.
Sort of cuts out to a little screen that tells you if you want the full experience, get in on the full game.
Basically, if you're one of them freeloaders out there and you like this, plunk down some money and enjoy the full game, you know?
Is that what it says?
No, it doesn't say
I was
that.
going to say, I don't remember exactly what it says, but that sounds very 90s to me.
Now, like I said, I have all of the ending text here for every different ending. So there's 4 chapters, you know. So I will read it now. So basically it says, once you beat the big bad... I laughed. I'm sorry. It's funny because you can tell these dudes are just these super hardcore engineer-oriented guys sitting around who like love metal and hardcore shit. All right. Once you beat the big badasses and clean out the moon base, you're supposed to win, aren't you? Aren't you? Where's your fat reward and ticket home? What the hell is this? It's not supposed to end this way. It stinks like rotten meat, but looks like the lost demon's base. Oh, Deimos base. Looks like you're stuck on the shores of hell. The only way out is through. To continue the Doom experience, play through the shores of hell and its amazing sequel, Inferno. I think that's a pretty fantastic write-up, and it kind of like scrolls across the screen at the end.
Yeah. It's a nice little into this whole entire first stage.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I think all of the text at the end are pretty good ways to end them.
Yeah, it's got like that quirky, weird 90s style that people love.
Oh, yeah. All right, man. So we did it. We beat 2 Barons of Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Conquered them. We are now going to Deimos, the moon base above hell.
Indeed.
And
so as we'd already stated, this has been teleported to hell, essentially, floating above.
yeah, a military experiment gone horribly wrong.
Just don't mess with teleportation. It never works well for human beings when they try to invent teleportation.
If you had a chance to go into a teleportation device and they told you it worked, we've tested this, we've teleported pigs, would you do it?
It all depends. I remember reading that the theory behind teleportation is that whatever you teleport, you're actually destroying and recreating somewhere else.
Yeah, see, I'm not into that.
Yeah, if that's what happens, then hell no.
Or if, like Willy Wonka, you turn into a very, very small person.
I'm fine with that.
You'd be all right with that.
No, but at the same time, human beings would take a lot less resources if we were all tiny.
You'd sound like a chipmunk on this show.
Yeah, I would. But also, just give me a really small microphone. I'd get drunk a lot easier,
It's true.
You can literally swim in that beer.
Yeah, you'd have like a little, I don't know. What would be small enough for you to sit on and float on? Like a donut, like an actual donut.
Yeah. It depends on how small I am, If I can fit in a thimble of alcohol, that's one thing. But if, I can comfortably sit in a donut.
I'm thinking
glass of whiskey.
Tinkerbell like size.
Yeah.
In Willy Wonka, he turns into like the size of a chocolate bar.
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Willy Wonka. Maybe we should do that for the Patreon episode too.
Well, we're gonna chat. We're gonna be recording Blade Runner. Spoiler for our Patreons coming up.
I'm so excited.
But there's a character in Blade Runner that is in Willy Wonka.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
I can't kill the suspense.
Damn it.
Micah.
Okay, fine. I'll wait. But I'm not going to be happy about it.
Well, you will wait, sir. Okay, man. Let's get into the second chapter here.
The Shores of Hell.
The Shores of Hell. Yeah. I'm pretty excited about Shores of Hell because I think it's honestly my favorite chapter.
Yeah, I think it was probably the most fun. But that's up to the listener to decide.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. So, start us off, man. What do you want to talk about first in the Shores of Hell?
Okay, so episode 2, map 1, Deimos Anomaly. I just want to say right at the bat, they introduced teleportation pads, which become a common mechanic throughout the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. I like it.
Yeah, and they actually use them in cool ways where if you go into them from different angles, you'll actually go to different areas. And they do that often. I agree. I think they're a pretty cool mechanic that are added to the game.
Totally. They also add the star shooting gun, which is the plasma repeater or whatever. I think it makes its intro in this as a secret, if I remember correctly. Also, the floating heads, those crazy little floating head guys, hated them. They intro in this as well.
Yeah, so I also think the visuals got better. And I wanted to pick your brain if you think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know if the engine changed at all, but I swear like the pump action of the shotgun looked different. And I could have just been making things up in my mind. I think I beat the first chapter one night and then played the second a different night. So there was like a 24-hour period that went by. But I feel like small animations like that slightly improved. Now, did you notice that at all?
Did not notice it.
Okay, well then,
even a little bit, but you could be right. I definitely think the graphics improved. I mean, as far as like at least the way that they handled the art style.
Well, for sure. I mean, the levels look a lot cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, this chapter is where we're starting to see like vines on the walls. We're starting to see like weird skeleton heads and like ghostly heads and stuff.
Yeah.
They got the weird like sections where there's kind of windows that are scrolling dead bodies.
Yeah, scrolling textures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They got weird with it. But also in like the first level of episode 2, you aren't required to collect keys, which is kind of a nice thing. There is a key door that you can unlock. I never bothered. I just went right past it.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
That's something I had written down.
I didn't write that down. So I put like you, Lost Souls enemies, teleportation. And then, yeah, I said it feels a little bit tighter overall. Just feels like it looks a little bit better.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. Okay. Didn't have any notes for the second area here. I got some for the third. What about you?
For the second area, I actually remember seeing stuff about this level because it's the box level. You know, it looks like a sort of like a storage depot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hilarious to look at now because it doesn't really make sense and it looks really weird. But like, you know, the walls are like textures to look like there's just like stacks of boxes, which is something they used to do a lot in video games like this. Yeah. I just really liked it.
Is this the one that there's like one big central room that has a lot of things stacked on top of each other?
That actually is later on, but This has, well, I mean, you could kind of consider it a central room. I guess I think you do have to go through it twice. But this is definitely more maze-like level. It's also the first time you get this chainsaw.
Oh.
There's a smashing area, and if you go left through a smasher, you can get to the secret room. There's a chainsaw in there.
Nice. The chainsaw is fun.
I loved it. I loved it so much.
Cool. For number 3, I have that it's a pretty cool level. This is the one that has vines all over the walls. And I think visually, this level was very different than what we had seen at this point.
Yeah.
Lots of windows. The whole game, like we talked about earlier, is kind of set up to shoot enemies from a distance.
Yeah.
There's always like balconies and windows to peer through. And this level is filled with those type of levels. I think right off the bat, there's like a window you can shoot a couple demons in. But this is also the first level that has the Kako demon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Actually did not realize that was this one. Yeah. No, this is the first time I got Berserk. Too.
Oh.
Yeah, because this is in this level as well.
Well, that's a good time to get Berserk when you're fighting a Kako demon.
Yeah, fuck those Kako demons.
I have that this is a very violent level too. So the game is very violent, right? This was actually a very controversial game back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to play it.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to play it, but a lot of parents were upset seeing their kids play this game where there's blood and guts and all kinds of things, and butthole walls or vagina walls, whatever you want to call it.
Very irreverent.
It's a good word. Irreverent's a good word.
I was looking for that word earlier, and I just pulled it out of my ass.
There we go. Well, I just said there's butthole walls, so right out of the ass is
hell yeah. Out of
time.
the asshole into your ears.
Yeah. We should make t-shirts.
Hell yeah.
So this is the first level that has like torn in half bodies hanging from the ceilings.
Yeah, this got violent. Kind of
It's
got
very
weird.
violent because as the game progresses, we have people like crucified on walls, with bodies ripped in half. We have people on spikes. Things kind of start taking a turn for even the more hardcore, darker tones here.
Yeah, you can tell that whatever happened before you got here was not a fun time for whoever it happened to.
Very bad times. You don't want to be hanging from the ceiling in one of these rooms.
Hell no.
Hell no. Lots of green, so there's already vines on the walls, but there's a lot of like pillars and marble-esque green wall hallways and things like that. It's a cool level to me because it looked very different than anything we had seen up until this point.
Yeah,
I think it's something they were trying to change the color palette and like the atmosphere a little bit more.
totally. And, it definitely added to the enjoyment having a different thing to look at. Because so far I think, we're like 11 at 12 episodes in, and everything's looked pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah.
And the next level is the one that has the scrolling demon faces.
Yeah.
Level 4.
But I gotta say, this is, and I've already thought about this a lot up to this point when I was playing the game. The music just made me think of Symphony of the Night so much in this level. It had a very like spooky Symphony of the Night vibe, but
that's one of those soundtracks I think I'm just gonna like have in my rotation. I haven't listened to it since I played the game, but I love that soundtrack.
that is going to be burned in my memory in the same way that Chrono Trigger is going to be burned in my memory.
Man, that was a good run of games, man.
Seriously. I think Doom is one of those games that's worth playing. It's definitely good for retrospective on what, the early evolution of video games.
Yeah.
But, man, Chrono Trigger and also Symphony of the Night will hold a more important place in my heart than almost anything else after having played them.
I will say Symphony of the Night, I think, is maybe the best game we've played in our whole show so far.
Dude, that honestly, it destroyed my original top 20.
Yeah, we've gushed about this game on every fucking episode. People are probably tired of hearing about it.
Play it if you haven't played it.
I loved Chrono Trigger, but I say Doom holds a stronger place in my heart just because my roots from my childhood, from a nostalgia perspective.
Yeah.
I gotta give Doom the nod there, but Symphony of the Night is so good that I'll take Symphony of the Night over Doom any day of the week,
Dude,
man.
hell yeah.
Just crazy. I'd probably take Chrono Trigger on the whole just because I like RPGs more than shooters, but
yeah,
in terms of my feelings, the feels,
what's important to John?
in the deep insides of my heart, yeah, I got to give it to the Doom.
Well, hell yeah. Can't
The
fault you for
Doom.
that. The Doom. The Doomguy gets it. Sweet episode or level 5.
Level 5. I just have this is where the walls turn into flesh for the first time.
This is also I just have Hell is Woody on episode 2. Level 5. Maybe
Hell is Woody.
yeah, like foresty woody. It looks like wood.
Yeah.
A lot of it looks
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
woody. Lots of overgrowth.
100%.
Yeah. Hall of the Dams. Halls of the Damned. Halls of the Dams.
Halls of the Dams.
So Halls of the Damned. The only thing I have is damn these halls. So many halls. Damn these halls. Hall of the Damned.
Damned these halls, Hall of the Damned.
It was just all halls. That level is all halls. It's
I don't remember it off
branching
the top of my
hallways.
head.
It's branching hallways off of other hallways. That's what the hallway level Halls of the Damned is.
Okay, all right.
So many halls.
Next level is spawning vats.
Woo! This level.
This level took me a very long time because I went the wrong way in the beginning, and I got a little lost and turned around, and I couldn't find the thing I needed to find. I think it was a key if I'm remembering this level. So yeah, what did you think about spawning vats?
This is the level with the box room that I was thinking about earlier, where you go down and it's full of those pinkies, and you can get invulnerability, and then it's game on. I had a chainsaw, and I was invincible, so this was a fun level.
I mean, when you have a chainsaw and nothing can hurt you,
that's
where you want to be, man.
Yeah, what's better? That's what I want to know.
And I think actually that is the last regular level. Now we're on to a boss level, man.
Indeedy-doo.
The Tower of Babel. Cyber Demon, who is a very tough enemy, man. I think he's harder in the later levels in the 3rd and 4th chapters than he is as a boss, because you can run away from the missiles a lot easier in that in this giant arena that you battle him in. But during some of those later levels, it's a more confined environment, and those rockets he shoots, if you get hit by them, you're either dead or you're close to dying.
Yeah, it took me quite a while to actually beat him. But I want to say this level, Tower of Babel, it took me fucking 29 minutes to find that damn yellow key.
Damn, 29 minutes.
I looked at the end of the match, and it was like, it literally, when I saved it, before I fought him, it was at 29 minutes.
Now, where was the yellow key? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember. All I know is, like, when I got it, I was so relieved.
Hmm.
I think it was easy, and I'd just been overlooking it. If I remember correctly, there's this one part where you have to go around this. It's like it's a wall that looks like it's just continuous, but you actually have to go around it. And I think this is the first time I figured out how to use the map, to be totally honest.
I see. I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah.
But the thing is, when you're looking on the map, it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just trying to find it, it's tough.
And then once you found the key, you had to fight a cyber demon.
Yeah. But it was significantly less tough than 29 minutes of looking for a damn key.
Yeah. That's a long time. Typically, levels took like between around 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometimes shorter, sometimes a little longer.
There was no reason other than my ignorance and stubbornness that this took as long
I
as
have
it
a
did.
level in the 3rd chapter that took... Once I solved it, it was like, God damn it, man. You saw this on the map. Why didn't you go over there? You never know, though.
But
we should mention, too, that at the end of every level, it does give you your time, your percentage of the enemies you've killed and the secrets you have found, and it also gives you a par time that if you want to be hardcore, it's basically saying, oh, you beat this level in 15 minutes? We dare you to beat it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit.
It's tough.
That's a lot of time off what I just beat this in.
But I would say if I went through this a second time, it'd probably be less difficult now that I know where everything is and how to use a goddamn map.
For sure. Actually, once you beat the level one time, it's probably pretty easy to map it out and charge through it.
Though I don't know. There's a level later that I'll bring up. I don't know if I'd be able to remember how to beat it again because it's tricky. Tricky. But yeah, the Cyber Demon, I just hate him. That's all I want to say. Fuck that guy.
He's strong, man.
Yeah.
He's a tough enemy.
Spent a lot of rockets on him. A lot of rockets.
You just got to keep moving away. You can never stay in front of him because the rockets that he shoots are faster than you think.
They're way faster than you think.
Way faster than you think. So you got to keep moving around. Basically circle him and try to aim your shots.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to read the ending of the 2nd chapter?
Indeed. So it says, "You've done it. The hideous cyber demon lord that ruled the lost Deimos moon base has been slain, and you are triumphant. But, ... where are you? You clamber to the edge of the moon and look down to see the awful truth. Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make that bastard... you'll make the bastards sorry that they ever heard of you. Quickly, you rappel down to the surface of hell." I just love that. You're rappelling off of a moon into hell.
There's only one way to go, Micah.
But I love it. It's just like,
straight through
you'll
hell.
make the bastards sorry they ever heard of you.
This is basically like that song we used to play, To Space and Hell and Back.
Yeah. Yep.
I was playing that the other day.
Anyway. Man, I kind of miss jamming. I gotta get back on. I've not.
Dude, I'd be down to meet up
my
with the crew
keyboard
again.
Yeah, I need to play some shit, man. It's been too long. But also, I don't know. I think everyone who plays music can experience this. I just have had such a mental block for playing music, for so long now. It's just I gotta just pop that, cork. Let it all out.
That's a good pop.
Ooh, do it again.
My God.
But yeah, you beat him. You rappel down to the surface of hell. Now it's on the final chapter of Doom, Inferno. Which isn't actually the final chapter of Doom, but it was my
It
final
is. We're not
chapter.
going to go in depth into the last chapter just because it's not the original Doom. I mean, that came out a couple years after the original Doom.
It's fake Doom.
It's fake Doom. I'll mention a couple things because I played through it, but we'll we'll mostly focus in on these first 3 chapters.
Hell yeah.
So we are in hell, dude. We're in Inferno territory here.
And this is where we see her butthole for the first
Disco
time.
Inferno. Sorry, the butthole. Yeah, Inferno opens with the butthole.
It does. Immediately you start, and right in front of you is a fleshy orifice.
Fleshy orifice. I feel like we should use that more often.
Yeah. That could be our band name.
Yeah. That's a typical Saturday night for casual good times guy. Night out of the town with a fleshy orifice.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Love it.
God
though.
damn it.
So yeah, Hell Keep. Fleshy orifice. You go up, you touch it. It turns out it's an eyeball, but it definitely looks like a butt. It could be an eye coming out of a butt for all I know, you know?
It does not look like an eye at all until it's a switch. You're in a room and you don't know how to get out of it, and you go up to the fleshy orifice.
Thing is, though, I immediately when I saw that fleshy orifice, I knew that that's what they wanted me to do because it was so orificey and fleshy.
Yeah.
It just really looked offensive, and I was like, that can't possibly be by accident.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know it right at first because I looked around the room, and then I was like, I don't know what else to do. I'm going to click on this butthole.
Click on the butthole now.
When in doubt, click a butthole.
Yeah. That could also be that could be the tagline to Fleshy Orifice.
Yeah. What I said is that it looks like a butthole, but it's actually a switch that turns into an eye. But they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But they knew.
I just had wow, fleshy.
That's actually another good shirt, Micah. You're coming out with a lot of good shirt lines on this episode.
Dude, we should launch a retail line. I mean, why not, you know?
Wow, fleshy.
Wow,
dot,
fleshy.
dot, dot,
Yeah.
fleshy. All right.
Oh, but yeah, I want to say too, the only other thing I really had written down here is there's this moment, I think it's the third room, where there's a shotgun, and they knew I wanted that shotgun, and it's a monster closet moment. In that shotgun room, you get the shotgun, and as soon as you pick it up, bam, doors open, the monsters swarm you. So yeah, they got me with my love of shotguns.
Those
God damn it.
bastards.
Those bastards.
I also wanted to say about this level that when you click the fleshy orifice that is an eyeball, you kind of are on an elevator that raises up, and then you're outside. And you've seen this before near the end of the second chapter. There's really like cool 3D mountains and stuff when you're in the outdoor area. But now you're in hell. So there's like red sky, red hued mountains. It's just a very cool look. And the 3D is so classic because there's the trees on the ground. But when you go up to the trees, yes, you can spin around them, but they look the exact same no matter where you go. And you can see them spinning with you.
Dude, I love those classic 3D, like faux 3D sprites. Because all these early games had to use them extensively because 3D models took up too much space.
Mm-hmm.
So, fun times.
Yeah.
Casual good times. What am I saying?
Casual good times.
Episode 3, level 2.
Yeah, I have its cool map. It's claw-shaped. I know you weren't used to the map, but it's got like a demon claw. And as you get through it, it kind of starts building out. Some of the maps were cool because they were shapes and designs, and you didn't see them until you actually got through the level.
Yeah.
The interior of the level was a little goofy. It's a lot of... I mean, this whole game is like labyrinths and mazes, right? But this is all outdoor, and it's not so much a maze. It's basically if you were walking through a bunch of tall rocks outside that aren't connected at all. So it's all kind of open. I don't know if I'm describing that very well, but it's like a big field with tall rocks.
To sum up, though, this level, I said it was one hell of a complex switch situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one hell of a complex.
I like what you did there, Mike.
I just gotta throw the bad puns in there, you know. I'm just a you know, a non-father dad, essentially.
I mean, we're at biologically when we should be dads, you know, like back in the day, you know.
Yeah. Probably already
Is that
have
the
a
sound
5.
you make when you think of babies? Like
That's
when a baby.
that's the sound a baby makes when it comes out.
Yours is a little lower pitched. Mine's yeah, mine's high pitched.
Yeah. I mean, it might be high pitched. It just depends on how quickly it comes out.
The velocity of the baby exiting. Yes. All right.
That's how birth happens.
So this next level is an exciting moment for me.
Pandemonium.
Yes.
Oh, I also have the excitement for this level too because I think I got what you got in this level.
Tell me about it, man.
The BFG
The
9000.
big fucking gun, $9,000. We did it.
Now, I don't know about you, but I mostly ignored the secret areas. I would find them when it was convenient for me. There were plenty of times when I 100% found all of the secret areas.
Mm.
This was a time when I actually went through and found a lot of secret areas in this level. That's why I got the BFG, I do believe.
See, when I first started in the first chapter of the game, and I don't know if they're called chapters or whatever, but that's what I've been referring to them as. I was trying to get everything, right? And so I would play through the level, and then I would look up where the secret areas are if I didn't find anything, and then I would go find the secret areas. Because I just wanted to kind of like understand the mechanics of everything. And they're way more obvious in the first chapter than any other chapter. They're like, you'll be around a bunch of gray walls, and then there'll be a dark brown wall, and you're like, well, that looks so different. That's a secret.
Yeah.
Once chapter 2 started, I really stopped looking up anything at all because it was just taking the fun away. Because I would play a level and then spend extra time after my playthrough when I'd get to the exit. Because when you get to the end of a level, it's very clear you're at the end of the level and you can end it.
Yeah.
I would get to that point and then look up, oh, what did I miss anything? It wasn't as fun. I just enjoyed kind of tearing through the levels, finding what I found and going on. So I just happened to find the BFG at this level, luckily.
The reason I
Big
found the
fucking
BFG
gun.
in this level is because I got so lost. I literally found all the secrets because I could not find the blue key.
Dude, my notes took me a while to find that damn blue key.
Because you had to go up to the top level, and then you had to jump off this thing, and then go around this weird thing, and then go down into the complex again.
Mm-hmm.
It was this weird metal room, and that's where the blue key was. I don't know why I could not fucking find that for the life
No,
of me.
no. I did too, because the blue key was hidden in a room that was very tucked away. It was a very small room. And even when you looked at the map, it barely looked like a room because it was so small.
Yeah.
And you had to, I think this was the level you had to walk up the stairs and you were kind of outside, but you were in like a outside maze.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a tough one. It took me forever. The
This
damn
is
blue
also,
key.
I think there was a fleshy elevator that
Mhm.
took you down.
Things are extra fleshy at this point in the
Yeah.
game.
Just fleshy all around you. But yeah, the BFG, hell yeah.
Okay. Well, we got the big fucking gun. Things are looking good. We found the blue key.
Mm-hmm.
The next level, I just said there's a shitload of crucified people on the walls and dudes impaled on spikes. It's getting more and more hardcore.
I just put very grody.
Grody.
Yeah, to explain.
Yeah. I like the name of the level 5, Unholy Cathedral.
This was, oh man, this took me a while to beat actually, because it's a teleport puzzle level, and you're not always sure where the teleporter is going to take you. You know.
Yeah.
So there's a central room with I think 4 different teleportation squares off of it, and it took me a long time, probably too long. I should have looked it up.
I didn't look up anything other than that first section when it was the secrets.
Mhm.
So I got stuck on several levels for quite a while. I mean, they definitely had in the third chapter here more difficult ways to get to the end.
Hell yeah. Now let me ask you, at the end of this level, did you find that secret room with the other BFG in it?
Is this the level that when you go into that room with the BFG, there's a spawn area and there's
Infinite spawn, pretty much.
Yes.
That's what it feels like. Dude,
I did find this.
I got the BFG, I got the extra ammo, and I used up all my extra ammo and then some. So I was like, I had like one shot with the BFG after this level.
See, at this point, my difficulty was below normal, and so I probably had a much easier time.
Dude, it was tough. It was very tough.
Shame me if you must.
No shame. No shame. But yeah, it was fun, but I used up pretty much all of my ammo from the BFG, and I had to wait quite a while until I could really use it again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, the next level is kind of a weird one. It's just like a wide open level with lava everywhere.
I actually really like this one. Did you ever play? Let me ask you. Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
I did play it.
This
I only
felt
played like 12 hours of it though.
This felt like in Oblivion, you're constantly going into hell through portals.
Yeah.
This felt like one of the hell levels from Oblivion for sure.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I played Oblivion probably about 25 hours total, but I started over 2 different times. I think we've talked about it. I turned into a vampire and I got pissed. And then I started a new game and I got turned into a vampire like 10 hours again. I was like, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, you gotta really avoid turning into a vampire in that game. And half the time, okay, so in Skyrim, you won't know you're gonna turn into a vampire until you've already been affected. So your save states are of you being infected already. So I don't know about this. I never got turned into a vampire in this one, but damn, I would have been pissed if I did. I spent a lot of time on Oblivion. But anyway,
people were obsessed with that game.
This level just felt like Oblivion. Once again, I was saying earlier, like there's a lot of inspiration that can be drawn from Doom, Oblivion definitely was heavily inspired, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, this level's cool too because it felt good to not be so enclosed in mazes and labyrinths all the time.
yeah, totally.
You
And
know?
the cool little buildings you had to go to were really cool.
Yeah.
I really found some of the puzzles to be not terribly difficult, but intriguing. Took me a minute to figure them out. Particularly there's one room in which you actually get locked in, and you have to figure out how to get out of it.
You gotta
That was
find
fun.
the teleporter on the side wall,
Yeah.
right?
You got to find it because the candles are sitting right there.
I was confused for a little bit.
Yeah. It took me a second, but when I figured it out, I was like, and then I had a good time.
Okay. We got Limbo next.
Mm-hmm.
I put, geez, this was the hardest level for me, and it took me the longest. Not because it was hard enemy-wise. I just could not find the last switch that I needed.
Yes. Now let me ask you. When you're going to the end of the level, you've already gotten the yellow key. The red key was kind of hard to find, but you found it eventually. The yellow key was really difficult because you had to figure out how to get the switch to put at the platform so you could walk across it. Now, I got that, but then I could not for the life of me. When you're going through, you can see to the right that there's a switch inside of a room. I could not for the life
That's
of me.
me, dude. Took me forever.
Okay, once again, this level took me 45 minutes. I had it written down. 45 fucking minutes.
Took me forever, man. The map. I saw on the map there was an area. It was on the left side of the screen. You have to go over the lava and kind of behind one of those pillars.
Yeah.
And you go through that door, and then you get to the switch. Dude, I'm right there with you, man.
And
this level took me longer than any other level that I played.
And I'm telling you, I even tried to look it up and could not find descriptive walkthroughs to get me through that part. It literally just took trial and error until I
can't believe that you're on the same page here as me.
It was a damn fucking right switch.
When I figured it out, I was like, you fucking idiot.
But yeah, same.
Yeah.
Because I knew that pillar thing was a thing.
Exactly. This is the fourth one that you cross lava and you see a pillar and go behind it. The problem is that pillar was tucked away. It was kind of tucked away around a corner. We should have known, man. We should have known because we didn't see off screen, and I wasted so much time in this level.
Let me ask you, this happened to me. It probably happened to you too if you spent a lot of time in this level. Did you use up all of your hazard suits trying to figure it out and then had to walk over the lava while you got hurt to finally figure it out?
By the end, yeah.
Yeah.
I was near dead by the end.
I literally had 2 health left whenever I beat this
I had a
level.
little bit more than that, but I was almost dead because
Yeah,
I didn't have any more hazard suits.
Doomguy looked really rough down there on the screen, man.
Blood down the nose, coming out his eyes.
Yeah. Luckily, I think there was a health pack right at the end of the level, so kind of helped out a little bit.
All right, I'm glad I'm not the only one there, man, because that was rough stuff.
No, I may have just been at, my wit's end at this point because I had been playing Doom for, I think, 6 hours at this point. So I was just like burnt out and broken. This game broke me. But,
I mean, it's a heavy game, dude. I mean, there's fleshy orifices.
Yeah, I know.
There's demons scaring you at every turn, dude. It's not like they're scary, but when you turn around and they're in front of you, it makes you jump.
It does make you jump.
I don't care how cartoony they are.
Dude, they may just be, maybe 60 pixels at most high, but they're scary.
Yeah. And so this brings us to the mastermind of it all.
Ah!
The spider demon.
Now,
I'm sorry. No one wants to hear me whisper in their ears like that.
people pay good money for that shit, man.
Okay, you can Venmo me.
Venmo Jono ad.
You can Venmo me directly for that whisper.
But yeah, this spider demon boss was difficult. Now, one thing I really do like about this is the map is sort of like it's winding, and there's just ammo along the wall the whole entire time for the rocket, which is the ideal weapon to use.
Yeah.
And in the center, there is this door you can open to get into this little sort of chamber in the center. And I used that for cover for the most part when I fought the spider demon.
Yeah.
How did you go about him?
No, same way. You can't look at him directly.
Yeah.
If you look at him directly, you're getting hit. Even at he was hard because unlike the cyber demon, who I think is like a quicker, his single shot will hurt you more, right? The rocket will, but you can see the rocket flying at you.
You can't see bullets flying.
You can't see the bullets. You just kind of see his guns flashing, but they're all hitting you.
Yeah.
And you just watch your health tanking. So yeah, you just have to like run away and try to get to the side and behind him.
It was tough.
It was tough.
I think it was pretty fun, and it didn't take me too terribly long to beat it because once again, it's one of those things where like if you get a couple good hits and you save, get a couple more good hits and you save. This game just allows for save states, so it was chill.
Or you just turn the difficulty down, and then you're like a wuss like me, but hey, it makes it easier.
But shit, man, it took a minute. I used all of my repeater ammo. I used all of my chain gun or railgun ammo, and then I just rocketed him until he was dead. Lots of saving.
When we play Mega Man 3, if we do that one, or Mega Man, whatever Mega Man we play, I'm going to be with no lowering the level difficulty. I'm going to beat the game.
Damn, I'm gonna just read everything and put the difficulty to the easiest setting.
Okay.
Just to even us out.
We'll switch places.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Fair. That's fair, Micah. I've already shamed myself enough.
No, the thing is, at the end of the day, video games are meant to be enjoyed. If you're not enjoying it on the hard difficulty, play it on the easy. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that people need to destigmatize the easy way out when it comes to games because games are supposed to be fun.
Yes, I agree.
Hell yeah.
Hell yes, Micah. So, we beat the spider demon.
We did.
And now we have the end of the game, essentially, which I think is the best visually ending for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so essentially, there's like, every game ends with a picture on the screen, like a pixelized image of something. This one has a nice green field with like a sun setting over the mountains in the background, and there's a nice fluffy rabbit enjoying his day. And it slowly and there's like really cheesy music too. It slowly starts to pan over, and then all of a sudden we see this like base, and we eventually see the rabbit's head on a spike.
Yeah. This is after the text, right? Because I actually did not see this. I had to go back and look it up.
Yeah, this is after the text. I guess I was going to save the reading of the text. But you're right. I should probably have done that first.
Well, no.
Would you like to read the text?
No, you do it.
Okay. This is the end of like the original Doom. The loathsome spider demon that masterminded the invasion of the moon bases caused so much death and has had his ass kicked for all time. Oh my.
A hidden door.
Ass kicked for all time. That's a way to get your ass kicked. A hidden doorway opens and you enter. You've proven too tough for hell to contain, and now hell at last plays fair. For you emerge from the door to see the green fields of Earth. Home at last! You wonder what's been happening on Earth while you were battling evil unleashed. It's good that no hell spawn could have come through that door with you. ... Foreshadowing.
They didn't come through the portal with you, but before you, and that's why they killed your sweet little pet bunny.
Yes, and then you see that very sad image of the bunny's head in a spike, which is hilarious, and the music turns into metal.
Yeah, and you sort of see this weird perspective shifted image of these buildings, and they're all on fire.
Yeah, and then gunshots ring out, and you see the end, and the end gets shot with bullets. So
Love it.
I'll just quickly mention a few things about Thy Flesh Consumed, which is the ultimate Doom section here. But the original Doom is now complete. We have done it. So Thy Flesh Consumed, the first level is fucking hard. I mean, it's just way harder.
Yeah.
It's just a lot harder. I also think the level design, they were just like, fuck it, we're going to make some weird stuff. We're going to throw things together and see what happens.
Yeah.
Pretty wild levels. It's really silly. I mean, we've talked about wacky, but some of the levels are just like strange design. I can't say anything. There's strange designs. Not a huge fan of this one, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I like the other three more. They feel more developed with a purpose, I guess. This one definitely feels like we're going to make something super hard and super crazy and throw it in with a package on our retail release.
Yeah.
Not that they like half-assed it. It's just not as tight as the rest of the game, in my opinion.
I feel that.
Okay. Any closing thoughts, my friend, on Doom?
Just that while this game doesn't hold up entirely the test of time, I think it's still worth playing through, particularly if you can get past a little bit of the old weird mechanics. It's fun. It's a fun playthrough, and it definitely shows you the evolution of shooters. So, hell yeah. That's all I got to say. If you like video game and video game history, if you like video games and video game history, it's worth playing.
Yeah. I second all of that. If you're going to play one chapter, for me, it would be chapter 2.
I agree.
Yeah. 3's probably second, and then probably 1. Ultimate Doom, you really shouldn't play unless you played the other 3, in my opinion, because it's super fucking hard and it's just not as cohesive as an experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is. It's a slice of history for sure. Read Masters of Doom. It's a great book. Really kind of makes you marvel at what they were able to do. Micah, prepare your anus.
Prepared, my good sir.
All right, I'm going to start.
Go.
I'm going to go for the 2 for 2 starting today. On the whole, not just the originals, Wolfenstein or Doom?
Now I'm going to say I've actually never played Wolfenstein either.
God damn. So you just don't have... id Software's just not been your jam historically.
No, and it's just because I would never have been allowed to play any of these when I was a
fair.
kid. But that being said, I think they both look about the same to me. Doom seems to be the kind of game where you know, they're both not serious, but they're both a lot of fun. I think blowing up Nazis has its place, for sure. I love that shit. But sometimes I think I would probably prefer some heavy metal and blowing up demons a little bit more. So probably Doom, but I will get back to you on that once I played some more Wolfenstein.
That's fair. I think both have their place.
Mhm.
I think they might be mood dependent. If you just want to have fun and not really care about story and just kick some ass and take some names, it's probably Doom.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's Wolfenstein. I think it's fun to have this like alternate reality. What if the Nazis won?
Yeah.
And then you get to go kill a bunch of Nazis, which is awesome if you're gonna kill an enemy.
Yeah, the Nazis are the best enemy to kill.
Well, better than the Nazis. And then also just my love of Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the original Xbox, and all my online multiplayer fandom that I have for that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, sweet. My first question is actually in 3 parts.
Oh my.
A little bit cheating, but you find the world has become overrun with demons. This is a 3-part question. A, what do you arm yourself with? B, where do you go? And C, what music are you slaying to?
Oh. Okay. Now this is real world.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes.
So I don't have to choose weapons from... I can just choose anything?
Anything.
Or does it have to
you
be
want.
like realistic, like right now in my house, if I had to leave and run and get a weapon that I could
It has
get my
to
hands on?
kind of exist in real life, but you can bend that a little bit. You can't choose a lightsaber per
Yeah.
se, but
Oh,
Yeah.
man. See, that's hard. I don't even know where I would go find like a machine gun. But I mean, that would be my go-to.
yeah, machine gun. That makes
Machine
sense.
gun. You know, I'm
Cool.
going classic machine. I don't want rockets. I don't want to blow myself up. Machine gun.
Well, hell yeah. Johnny, you're armed now with a heavy repeating gun. Where do you go?
I go very high in the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Demons don't like the cold. They're from hell. It's very hot there. That's like, you know, somebody from Ecuador coming and staying in Alaska. They're not going to be used to it.
Yeah.
They can adapt, and the demons will adapt.
Yeah.
But it'll throw them off. It'll give me a slight advantage. So I'll go higher.
Okay, so
You
you
know?
got a machine gun. You're in the mountains. What music are you slaying demons to in the mountains?
This is perfect timing, dude, because I am definitely in a metal phase right now, and that was almost my happy hour too. I've been super into the band Megadeth,
Oh, hell yeah.
and I can't think of another band with a better name to slay some demons. So I'm going Megadeth, dude.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I said heavy rotating machine gun, something like it, some kind of big old bad boy.
Okay.
It's supposed to be mounted, but I've got it like this, holding it.
Oh, the two-handed. I like
dude.
it. Yeah. You're a big guy. You can handle that.
Yeah, I said an easily defensible position, probably a pawn shop, somewhere with bars in the windows. So you got just 2 doors, back door, front door. You get your other dude, your machine gun, and you just sit there and you take them on. And then I said
good.
definitely metal music. I'm not a really big metal guy. I've never really gone through a huge metal phase. But that being said, someone recently was trying to get me into Dying Fetus. And that's a band that I've not really had a lot of experience with.
Never heard of them.
But I've been listening to them a little bit. And yeah.
It's a hardcore name.
I'd probably do that. Yeah. It's just because of the name more than anything else. I'm not really a big fan of deep vocals, though, and there's a lot of that in their music. So I'd probably my real answer to be just to find some good instrumental with a lot of double bass.
Yeah.
of
I'm
double
not a
bass.
huge fan of deep music or the deep vocals either, like the doom metal.
I like doom metal, though. That's usually where I go in the metal.
I mean, that's all that
Shit.
type of deep vocals that were in doom
yeah,
metal.
that's true.
Like, that's why I like Megadeth and Iron Maiden, because the guitar parts are so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
And they like to Wizard Rock, as a coworker once called it.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. That's a good question.
Hell yeah.
3-parter. I like it.
Hell yeah.
In Doom, I have a 2-parter.
Hell yeah.
Your favorite weapon to kill your favorite enemy. So just your favorite weapon and your favorite enemy in the game.
Man, I think I really did like that, like the machine gun the
Mm.
most. You know, it was not super effective, but it was always so much fun. And I really liked slaying, just like taking down pinkies with that. That was my
Yeah.
favorite. So, and I think the pinkies overall were actually my favorite enemy. I think those floating circular dudes, whatever you call them, cacodemons,
Cacodemon?
those are more iconic. But I think I liked pinkies the most.
Yeah. We're different on the gun. So I said the plasma gun.
Mm-hmm.
When you have it, it just slays, dude.
Oh, that was really fun. I
Dude,
did
like
the plasma
one
gun.
plasma ball will kill a fucking human, like if you hit them right.
Yeah, dude.
And it's a machine gun still. So plasma gun, I went with pinkies too. As a child, they're the ones that have stayed in my memory the most.
Yeah.
Probably because we sucked at the game and we never got too far. And so there was just a lot of the pinkies. And
They were the
hard.
premier enemy at the time.
Yeah, and I think they are a very cool design, how they make them look in the game. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
All right.
But okay, my next question for you. The world is ending. You've been holding off in the mountains with your machine gun, listening to your great metal music.
This is like a 4-parter.
And I'm just adding this part on.
I like
for
it. No, I
dramatic
like
effects.
this. I like it.
But you're running out of ammo. You know you're going to die. There are too many demons. You don't have enough bullet to put in every single one of their heads. A portal to hell opens up. You're going to jump in, you're going to die on Earth.
Man. I want to be metal and say I would jump into hell, but I don't think I would.
I don't know. To answer my own question, I have a hard time figuring that out myself. If I know I'm going to die, do I want to go see something I've never seen before by going to hell?
Yeah.
Or if I die in hell, I'm going to be stuck in hell? Is my spirit going to
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I want to see it, but if I get stuck there and I'm in eternal hell, I'd rather just die on Earth.
Yeah.
So I would say no, I'm not going to go.
I'm probably not going to either. You know, I'd just let that portal open up and not think twice about it.
Yeah. Now, if it was like, do you want to go to rural Canada? Yeah. Check it out.
A portal opens up and it's actually to your grandma's house.
Yeah, I'm an adventurous guy. I like to see things, but when it comes to potentially being stuck in hell and knowing that there are demons on Earth, you're kind of like, hell is now officially real. Do I want to risk that? Nah, I'm going to say no.
Yeah. I'd rather die on my home planet defending it personally, personally.
Yeah.
But
yeah. All right. Okay. What are just a few of your favorite all-time first-person shooters?
So this is definitely something I've given a little bit of thought to, but it's hard for me to give you clear answers. I will definitely say the ones that are important to me as a kid were all the Star Wars ones, for sure. Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast. Those are the most important for me, for sure. Definitely, Quake and Unreal Tournament both were really good games back in the day, worth playing. But yeah, I think for nostalgic purposes, it's going to have to be the Jedi Knight series.
Jedi Knight?
Yeah. I don't think they're better. They're just more important to me as a person.
Yeah. I mean, for me, BioShock is for sure my favorite first-person shooter of all time. When I wrote this question, I was kind of shocked that I really don't play a lot. I'm just not a huge fan of them, I guess. Yeah. I like them when I play them, but they just don't stick with me, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really find myself playing them that much anymore.
So BioShock and BioShock Infinite, love that game too. Portal's definitely probably top 3.
I guess that is a shooter if you really think about it.
Technically, I don't know. That's like
you're shooting portals, but you're shooting something.
On the line, right? It's first person. And then I have Black Ops 2 and Halo 2 both listed as just fun games. Halo 2 probably above Black Ops 2.
I think Halo 3 is probably my favorite co-op multiplayer shooter because there are definitely so many levels in which you can just get all these cool ships and have a good time. It's a fun one to play when you're drunk with your friends.
Yeah.
But, I'll also add to that Call of Duty World at War, the more recent World War II Call of Duty. Don't care for the single player, but the multiplayer is one of my one of my favorite multiplayer shooters.
Cool.
So still just love getting those World War II guns, Mowing people down. Anyway, yeah. Sweet. My question for you, sir. It's the end of the world. Do you want Doomguy or Master Chief by your side?
Dude, Master Chief.
I think I'm going to have to go with Doomguy.
Doomguy? He doesn't say a single word.
Well, yeah. I mean, Master Chief says very few words.
But he says words.
This is the thing, though. I don't know about Doomguy's record, but Master Chief, every normal person that's around him dies. Think about this. When you're playing through Halo, do any of the Marines that you encounter and they follow you, do any of them survive to the end of the level? Usually not.
I mean, you could say with Doomguy, he's the only one. Everybody died. And he's
Already.
then killing them who possessed versions of his friends.
That's true.
But no, that's a good point.
Hmm.
You're right.
Worth thinking about.
Yeah,
Maybe-
well, he wasn't around when they died. He was just hanging out. And he was like, oh, shit. They're
Master
not
Chief
coming
just
back.
doesn't give a shit. All the Marines die around him. It's fine. He doesn't need a guy in the machine gun and the Warhog anyway. That's just my 2 cents.
I don't know if I could look at Doomguy's face when he's bloodied. That always scared me as a kid. Yeah, and he'd always be eyeballing me and shit.
Yeah, and his eyes got so red at the ends too.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Blood always down his nose.
Oof.
All right, so this question. Did you have fun playing this game?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. There are definitely times when I was like, fuck this game, I don't want to play anymore. But that was usually after 45 minutes of trying to find a fucking yellow key, you know?
Yeah.
I think overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun time.
I had a pretty similar one. I said no and yes.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling anxious. And I feel like I was more anxious playing this as an adult than when I was like a 6-year-old kid.
Really?
Because we were just like having fun and it scared us, but I just don't like jump scares. I don't like constantly feeling anxious.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, it bothered me because of the monster closets, and I was constantly turning around and there'd be a monster there, and I'd be like, ah,
Yeah.
you know? And getting lost, searching for the keys was a pain. But at other times, you'd rush into a room and just shotgun like 30 dudes, and it was just so satisfying.
Yeah.
So no, it is a fun game. I've
Well-
just come to understand as an older man, as an older guy, I guess.
As an older man.
As an older man.
Well, hell
As
yeah.
I've gotten older is what I meant to say, but I'm gonna stick with it as an older man.
As a man of upwards of 60 years.
Yeah. Minus 30. Plus
No.
3.
Let me ask you my next question here.
Okay.
What's another controversial game from the 90s that you think back fondly about?
Well, a game came to mind immediately, but I think it's early 2000s. Can I use that?
You can use that one totally.
The Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
There was a lot of controversy with that game.
There was. And
Yeah.
there still is a ton of controversy surrounding Grand Theft Auto and violent video games in general, but people use that as an example.
Oh, yeah. The hot coffee thing where they had the code in the game where you could have sex.
Yep.
You know? That's apparently having sex with a hooker is way more appalling than like shooting 300 people on the street because the hot coffee is what made people so mad. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's still funny to me.
Yeah.
I just had to say Mortal Kombat because same thing. I was never allowed to
How
touch
did
that
I
game
not
as a
say
kid.
Mortal Kombat?
But yeah, that game was just so much controversy and it just was so much more appealing because of all the, naysayers. So yeah, that's my answer for that one.
Now, did you play it as a kid?
Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
once.
Once.
Yeah, and then I figured out I wasn't supposed to. Yeah.
Last question for me. If you were going to give Doomguy a name, what would it be?
He kind of looks like a Steve.
Steve.
A Steve or a Kevin, you know? Maybe Carl, but probably Steve. He looks like a Steve.
Okay, we can call him Steve.
Yeah.
I gave him I gave him a first and last.
Yeah?
He's Ned Shabatsky.
Ned Shabatsky, I could see that.
I don't know why I said that. It just came. I wrote the question, and that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Doomguy could be like Eastern European.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. My final question for you, sir.
Oh God.
What mechanic did this game feature that you find to still be super common in modern video game design? And what was featured that you don't find common anymore?
Well, we already talked about a couple of the features that aren't common. Collecting keys, left and right only, not having like full ability to look around. Game mechanics that are still common. I mean, the entire game almost. I mean, it helped pioneer first-person shooters. That's kind of an obvious answer. Speed runs, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think for me, the key cards was the outdated mechanic that isn't in a lot of games anymore. That was just stood out to me more than anything else. But the one that's actually common, which I think is pointing out, is the floodgate mechanic. The monster rooms. Whenever you progress and suddenly doors open up, or suddenly a bunch of enemies flood you from behind or around you. That's really popular in a lot of video games these days, particularly games like Gears of War. Games that rely on a little bit of like scare tactics and jump scenes and stuff. So
monster closets, you're right. That's still very used.
Yeah, I think it was sort of pioneered by Doom in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you play Last of Us 2, man, you know, I just said I don't like games that make me anxious. There were several scenes in that game I couldn't wait till they were done because
man.
they were terrifying.
I'm looking forward to
It's
peeing
a
my pants.
Brilliant game. There's one scene in particular that's incredible, but we'll talk about it eventually.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, Mike, we did it. That's a long episode. I did not expect us to go that long
Yeah.
on Doom.
Doom over 2 hours.
I think it's because we hadn't talked in a while.
I think it's also, let's be real here, the alcohol gets the conversation flowing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We got it back. You know, I've been on a detox.
Oh, I've not been on a detox, but I needed that alcohol more than anything else today, so hell yeah. Well, Jono, it's been a pleasure.
All right. Farewell.
Take it easy. Hey, cool people. We just wanted to say a quick thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing with this podcast, spread the word.
And if you'd like to support future episodes, we've launched a Patreon. Head over to mediumretro.com or search for us on patreon.com to become a fan of our show. Your support is much appreciated.
Also, follow us on Twitter and Twitch at Medium Retro and at Instagram at Medium Retro Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.